A new year, a new Shack Together. It's episode 46, and we have two guests, one joining from the start and one joining near the end of the show. It's Sam Chandler and Ozzie Mejia on the docket for today. On today's show, we talk about our gaming resolutions as defined by a roll of the dice. Which one of us will get the most plausible and doable list of resolutions? You'll have to listen to find out. Story time. It's early in the year, so there's not a ton going on, but today we are going to talk about the Freedom Wars Remastered review, Ys Memoire, The Oath, a port. We've got a review for that. Animal Crossing Pocket Camp Complete. The offline mode for that game is here, and we have a review for that. Plus some news over from Ubisoft, including where the company is headed and the latest on Assassin's Creed Shadows and its release timing. Xbox is bringing us a developer direct very soon in the next couple days. And of course, we have the latest from CES covering NVIDIA, the Lenovo Legion Go, and more. Thanks for listening. Let's kick this thing off. Here we go.
Did you guys catch WWE Raw on Netflix this week?
I saw everybody booing Hulk Hogan.
That's what I wanted to talk about.
Yeah,
you brought it up. That was pretty hilarious, right?
It's a stupid. Why would he think he'd get a good reception? That's the weird thing. It just feels tone deaf. I also think WWE is smart enough to know that he was going to get that crap reception, so they trotted him out there anyway. And that's kind of a crappy thing to do, even though Hulk Hogan's an asshole. It's like, they knew.
I don't know, man.
It's Inglewood, California.
Yeah. The funniest thing about it to me was that, Netflix does closed captioning, and they actually closed captioned it to say crowd booing. I was like, awesome. Like, at least they're in on it.
Netflix is absolutely, that's a good point. Netflix is absolutely was in on it. That's a good point.
You know what I mean? Like, Netflix
they
is like,
knew exactly what they were doing.
No, this is great content.
That's funny.
They did not care at all. They're just like, yeah, who else can we chop up into pieces? I don't know. I found it very amusing, given the year that Hulk Hogan had last year. And, there's I can't remember the name of the podcast, but TJ Jefferson from the Rich Eisen Show and Ice Cube's son, they have a wrestling podcast where they were talking about it just from the African-American black perspective. And, like, if anyone remembers what happened with Hulk Hogan and what was that? Was that the network that used to own Kotaku? Whatever they were.
No, wait. The network that owned Kotaku?
There was like that one site that he like straight up Gawker Media Network.
Oh yeah.
It was on Gawker. This video of Terry Hogan or whatever his name is saying all sorts of racial epithets about black people and how terrible they are.
Also, the sex video.
That too.
Like that.
That.
Who could forget?
I thought it's seared into
forgot
my
about
brain.
That one. That's what I mean. There's so many reasons to hate Hulk Hogan.
The screen cap was Gawker was that was a fun website. I don't care. It's their dad. We can say it was a fun website. He did kill them. Yeah, he
killed them. And but people don't forget. And I thought it was interesting. Like Megaran posted a video of him reacting in real time to Hulk Hogan, and he just sat there with his arms crossed. He took a sip out of his beverage. Same thing with those two hosts. They just kind of I think TJ said he turned around and put his back to the show with his arms crossed, but that's insane that they thought that was a good idea. But I'm sure Terry Hogan or whatever his name is, he couldn't resist showing up on January 6th, man. He just couldn't help but show up. It's such a huge day for him.
God.
But anyway, to quote the great Iron Sheik, fuck the Hulk Hogan. Together in America on the internet. Did it work?
Yeah, it was perfect. Yeah.
Okay, so I have to sit 5 feet away from the microphone.
Yes, if you want to shout it. Yeah. Yes.
I want to shout it.
Yeah, then good. It worked. It worked.
Sweet. If this is your first time joining us, Shack Together is a Shack News video games podcast featuring myself, Asif Khan, your host, co-host John Benjamin,
Hello.
our producer Joe Stasio,
Hi.
and special guest this week, head of guides, Sam Chandler.
Hello.
Shack News. Welcome. And yeah, we're in season 2, right?
We can call it that if you want to. Sure.
I think we should call it season 2. I think I'm doing it.
There's a field on our podcast software for season that I've left blank,
Wow.
Funny.
so I can fill that out.
I mean, do you have to go back and retroactively declare that there was a season 1?
Why not? I'll do it.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Anyway, that was last year. Last year was season 1. This year, guys, this season 2, we're getting a Switch 2? Come on.
Wow.
I get
What
it.
other 2s are we going to get?
What other twos indeed? Let's think about this.
You know what I mean? Like, there's probably more 2s out there that we're not even thinking about right now.
Everyone name a 2. that we'll
Minecraft
get.
2.
Can you imagine?
Apparently. Didn't
That would be
Notch talk
crazy.
about that?
Wait, well, Notch did talk about the spiritual successor to Minecraft, which is super interesting. Like, it's interesting to hear from that guy, right? I'm not super familiar with Notch and how it all landed. I don't know if he's like
He's
a weird political dude.
Yeah,
He's a
something.
very interesting fella these days.
Probably
I
not
can tell you that
looking
we're
too far
getting
into that,
Tales of the Iron 2, Whiskers of Winter later this month. We're getting Gimmick ! 2, Citizen Sleeper 2, Starward Vector. Sam, guess where I'm reading this from?
the 2025 video game release date calendar brought to you by yours truly.
Exactly. You know, here's a bigger one that we're getting. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2.
That's it. Outer Worlds 2, I reckon.
big
That's a good one.
Wow.
Any other 2s? Beyond the Ice Palace 2? Assassin's
I don't know.
Creed 2? No. They got
No.
And we'll get
Ghost
to
of
that in this.
Tsushima 2, Ghost of
Yeah,
Yokai,
Ghost of-
is
yes,
kind of
Yokai.
chance.
Last of
Little
Us Part 2 remastered again.
Most
for
likely.
PC?
Spider-Man 2, probably.
No.
Remastered.
Oh yeah, Spider-Man 2 remastered. Yeah.
No. Yeah. It's coming
Double
to PC.
Dragon Revive. That's not.
Oh, I got one.
What's that?
Steam Deck 2, we hope?
No.
I think
Nope.
so. I think
Chris,
it's this year.
let
It's
me
been
ask
3
you.
years.
Steam Deck, it's been 3 years. So you're telling me they haven't updated that hardware in 3 years?
No, they did an OLED update.
Yeah,
Oh.
mini refresh. They did a new panel, a new display rather, and it's got like slightly faster memory, I think.
I
But
thought it
it's
had
just
something
so-
to do with it had a different heat solution too on the recent motherboard or something.
That
But
sounds right. Yeah, I bet it's very minor. Like,
it wasn't a major update at all. It wasn't a different processor, to your point. I don't know if AMD has another chip that's like ready. You know what I mean? Like, and also if you're paying attention at CES, there's a Lenovo just announced a Steam Deck. They're making an equivalent to a Steam Deck, and it's going to run SteamOS. So like Valve's doing that thing where they're licensing out their software and taking less risk, because when you make hardware, there's risk involved. And we saw that with like, what was it? The Steam machines in the past. But yeah, I don't know, man. I think that Valve is kind of slow when it comes to hardware releases. They did the hell's their VR, the Valve Index VR headset, and then nothing's really come out of that. There's been rumors of other VR headsets from Valve and maybe a standalone, but so far nothing.
I wouldn't put money on it, but I also wouldn't be like it for a successful piece of hardware, which this is, versus say the Steam machine or the controller that they've done in the past. You like to think that they would move a little quicker, you know?
I think if Nintendo, for instance, with the Switch 2 doesn't really move the goalposts at all from a hardware perspective, Steam has no reason to do it, right? Like if Steam Deck is still equally powerful or more powerful than the Switch 2,
that's a good point. I
don't
could
think it's
see
gonna matter.
for the first time, I could see waiting on the Switch 2. I could see potentially not getting it immediately, which would never have been the case with the first Switch because it was such a novel piece of hardware. But this time, if there isn't a bump and I'm not going to start amassing a library that takes advantage of like the new specs, then same goes for Valve. Like, why would they be pushed to put something out? You're right.
But also, like, I get this is just a question I have about Switch 2 in general. If it doesn't have this like robust launch lineup, but it does make all of your existing Switch library run better, is that enough of a feature to get you to buy it?
No, without an OLED.
Ah,
I'm so spoiled. It's such an upgrade. It's an unbelievable difference. That's a. I mean, of course, it's all speculative because there's no formal announcement. But
I mean, this thing's been leaked so many times.
Yeah.
How pissed is Nintendo right now?
Not happy.
Like every single there's fucking people at CES on the show floor with like mock-ups of the Switch 2, like just showing you accessories for it already. It's that's disappointing to me because like I like when
they got to move with this next announcement
next week, man. It's coming next.
Did they announce it?
No,
did they announce next week?
No, but like it has to be.
They really gotta do it because it's getting silly. Yeah,
like just I don't know if you saw the Twitter header for Nintendo of Japan or NCL. They switched their header to the same header they did the week before the Switch reveal. So
wow,
that's the theory right now is that we're gonna get that, and then also Nintendo with the epic troll today, announcing a new handheld Lego collaboration with the Game Boy and Lego. Coming this October. A lot of people thought that was the Switch 2 reveal when that trailer dropped. But yeah, if you're a Nintendo fan, I would turn on notifications on YouTube and on Twitter.
No, just text me.
Yeah, I'll text you. I'll alert the internet. But yeah, I agree though, John. Like, fuck, get this. Just announce the damn thing. Like,
it's just a weird thing. Like, I thought Nintendo would have announced it. I understand that they do their own thing, but this does feel like this feels counterintuitive, especially given social media and how things are going. Like, it feels cheap. Like the longer this goes on, the cheaper it feels like this reveal is going to be. That said, all it takes is a Mario or something, and
that's what
everything's going to be forgiven.
Yeah, like if there's some sort of software on the device around launch that showcases everything that makes it different from the original Switch, I think you'll buy one, Joe. Because
sure.
Wait,
they
Joe,
just dropped.
You would buy one? No, I mean you're buying one regardless. Me? Come on. Well, no. I'm talking about Joe. Like you're saying, Joe. There's no.
I'm not saying I'm out. I just meant like I don't know that I'd be running to day one. That's all I meant.
I'm running to day one.
There's day one.
That's the no-brainer day one for me.
You and I is no-brainer day one. Sam, are you day one Switch 2? Come on.
Probably.
Possibly, probably.
I think so. I think it would make sense for me to do that.
Yeah. This should be the game today. Which game would make it day one for Joe? And how many words does that title have? How many alphas and omegas?
How many Roman numerals? Yeah.
That's a 2. That's a 2. The game that fire. Okay, anyway, sorry.
Final Fantasy Tactics 4K remake.
But why not? Why not on Steam though? I don't know.
Oh, here comes Mr. Why Not on Steam.
It's interesting. Why not on Steam? Like, anytime you talk about it, Joe, I actually get intrigued by Steam Deck. But then I completely forget it exists. But then, like, Shack News will review, like, a game that's just on PC. And I'm like, man, I really should get a Steam Deck. Like, I see, obviously, the enticement of it. I just don't see if it's, like, Steam or Switch 2. Those feel like two very different things. Like, they feel very complementary.
Yes, I think Asif and Sam will back me up wholeheartedly when I say, if you're into the freak show game development scene of some weirdo putting out a GOTY contender out of the blue, and it's $4.99, which has happened the past couple of years, Steam's where it's at. There's so many strange discoveries to be had for $5 on Steam. And sometimes they make their way off platform. Sometimes
it's just easier to develop only for Steam. Like if you're gonna develop for a platform and you're an indie, picking Steam is the easiest way because you don't have to have a dev kit, you don't have to have a dev account at these different platforms. It's I think a little bit easier to get into their early access program. So like, I think there's a lot of reasons why indies are going to succeed more on Steam Deck going forward. Look at Pizza Tower as a good example of a game that launched on Steam Deck and then it came over to Switch. I think Vampire Survivors is another one you were kind of referring to.
Vampire Survivors was a game I was playing on my Intel Mac at the time in a window, like it was 1997. And it's like one of the greatest games ever made. And, if it made its way off PC, but
It's great on Switch.
it is. But just saying, like, I'm so hooked on this. Like, what is everyone a buzz about today? And it is some, again, freak show game on PC that you would
On
never
Steam.
have thought of. Yeah, on Steam.
And it's usually on Steam, and if you're patient, like you are, you could probably get it on sale. And Nintendo has not stayed competitive when it comes to pricing against Steam.
Sure.
Like Steam's doing, it feels like Steam has some sort of sale going on every other week.
Yeah.
And Nintendo eShop just does not do that.
It's so expensive.
So
Mhm.
that, I think that's one major difference. Like, I really think that is going to be a thing, but like, that's fine. Like, you're going to have your Balatros and stuff over on, by the way, that's how the dev pronounces it. I found that out over break, but yeah,
Nice.
Balatro runs just as good on Steam Deck as it does Switch and my phone. So I think it's not about performance, in my opinion. I think it's going to be about price, because, you know, gamers they're not day one buying games all the time.
Right.
So I think we'll have to pay kind of close attention to that. But I get your point, Joe. But at the same time, like John said it, you gave us the sequel to Odyssey.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. Like,
Yeah.
if Odyssey 2 is coming out, I'll be there for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what we're getting. It's been fucking 8 years
Yeah.
since we had a flagship Mario 3D title. Like, what are we doing, Nintendo? Please, for the love of God, give us, especially on the back of Astrobot last year, you know they're going to want to flex their 3D platforming skills.
Boys, I have updates on Astrobot whenever we get to that.
Ooh.
For sure. I kind of
Interesting.
threw the show on its head. We just started talking about Switch 2, but, Season 2, Switch 2, Beautiful Joe 2. No?
Exactly.
Since I got F-Zero 99, I'm really on this warpath of just requesting even more insane shit, because I feel like if I keep putting it out there in the internet, like, Doug Bowser hears it and then does it. Ice Climbers 2. There you go.
Nice.
Ice Climbers 2, man. Okay. That's a good one. That's a deep cut. Those are characters that should come back.
They're
I mean,
great.
I know that they're on Smash, just like,
Yeah, but like
for
the
real.
game, like it was on
it's a fun game. Yeah.
it was in the Nintendo
can-
World Championship, right? The NES edition, and I was like, God damn, I like this game. I always
It's a-
liked
yeah.
this game.
A fun game.
But yeah, we should move on to what we've been playing lately. So Sam, we'll start with you. What have you been playing?
I've been playing a little bit of Dead Rising on my Xbox over break, a little bit of Delta Force. I finished Animal Well, which was awesome.
Great.
I got all the achievements done
That's
in
great.
Isles of Sea and Sky. Yeah, it's been a good little gaming session.
How deep did you go on Animal Well?
I did it all, got all the achievements. The only thing I didn't do was, I think, the RDTP. I can't remember exactly the acronym, but yeah,
You
I
did
didn't
all
do
the
that.
eggs?
I did all the eggs. I was
Wow.
missing, like, by the time I finished, like, and rolled credits, or credits number 1, I was missing maybe like 14 eggs. So I did a pretty good job, and the others I just couldn't see on the map. So I had to use a cheeky little the wiki
Sure.
to help me track down some of the other ones. But
Good
yeah,
on
it was
you.
a solid game. Really, really enjoyed that.
Nice.
That was LocalThunk, the dev of Balatro. That was his game of the year.
Yes, I have that
Makes
story
sense.
on our outline.
Cool. Awesome, Sam. Yeah, I haven't really gotten to go back to Isles of Sea and Sky, but I'm sure they're happy to have won the prestigious Best Puzzle Game of the Year award here at Shack News.
Yeah, that was so good. Such a good one.
Yeah, people should check it out. Cool. John, what have you been playing?
So I tried Indiana Jones a little bit more, and I just stopped. It didn't get me.
It's just not for me, man. I feel you.
Yeah, Indiana
Yeah.
Jones. It was like it was too plotting, too boring. I'd rather watch it. I'd rather watch
Yeah.
the game, but then again, I don't want to actually watch somebody play a game. Like, the story seemed interesting. The voice acting's really good. That's not
Mhm.
enough for me. So that's to me, we should do like a quick hit. Like, what's the review score? It's completely the uninformed. This is respectful, but I think it's not. It didn't hook me. So
We
I
lost you
was
for a second.
disappointed.
We missed your score, John. You cut out.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is that a connection issue? I'm on
No,
hotel Wi-Fi.
Hey, you're back now. You're back now.
Yeah.
Oh,
It was
okay.
just for a second. Did you say an out of 10 score? Or I think you were just
No,
saying this
I
is.
didn't. I was going to say it, and then I said, "Nah, that's kind of disrespectful. It's not
Oh.
informed." So I'd say it just wasn't for me.
Yeah.
So disappointed. But then I was like, okay, so February is a pretty big release month, at least for me. There are a couple of games I'm super interested in. So I just wanted something that's a little bit more action packed. So it was between The Last of Us Part 2 and God of War Ragnarok. So I'm trying to get through a little bit of a PS5 backlog. And with the new season of the HBO show, I was like, you know what? My wife and I, we like to watch the show. We don't watch too many shows. We're actually going to let the series kind of spoil the game. I kind of know the spoilers, but I figured, you know what? I'm going to go into God of War Ragnarok.
Hell
And
yeah.
yeah, and I was expecting more of an action-packed thing, maybe a little bit less narratively driven than Last of Us. I'll tell you, I'm watching friggin' God of War. I like it a lot. It's actually started to really grow on me the last few hours, no, several hours. I've put in maybe 25 hours into it so far. Like I'm going 100. I'm going platinum for this thing.
Nice. I gotta ask you something as well. Once you keep keep going.
Oh yeah, no. Like bottom line, it's like I'm surprised at how much I'm just watching the game, and I get it. If I'm at PlayStation and I'm a game director, I want to be a showrunner at HBO too, right? And man, oh man, do they compromise. In my opinion, I really think they compromise sometimes the game itself. Because then it harkens back to like old school God of War. As a kid when I'm playing, I don't know how old I was, but playing the first God of War, second God of War, etc. That was straight up action, action, action. And it was fun. It was like the combos were great, the moves were great, the progression of the weapons were really good. I get it. I'm not like an action guy. I like narrative, but it felt like, man, they've kind of gone a little bit overboard. That said, I'm starting to really dig it. So like what I was thinking was kind of a little bit of a disappointment. No, this is it's very good. I've been enjoying my time with that. Sam, what did you want to ask?
I wanted to ask. So first of all, did you play the first God of War, the 2018?
I did. Oh yeah.
Cool.
That was
Did
cool.
you finish that one?
That's an excellent game.
Totally. Yeah. That was a great
awesome.
game.
And so the other one is, as a father yourself, how do you feel now connecting with the character of Kratos? Because, like you said, you were a kid or a teenager or whatever when you're playing the original series, but now you're a dad and you're seeing this new side to this character who you have, in some capacity grown up with. Is it different?
You mean but from the first one to the second one?
Yeah, but also
or just generally
in terms of that, as a father yourself and watching Kratos be a father and how he deals with his son growing up.
It's interesting. It's like, I think I see what they're going for, and there are a couple like quiet moments. I think the character design is really great because you can see the age a little bit. I mean, you can see almost the weariness. Yeah.
The weathering. Yeah.
The weathering, the weariness. And that is part of being a dad. At least I feel it, and you empathize with the struggle physically and emotionally and the relationship and knowing that like this bird is going to go, right? So I like those quiet moments. I actually think for the amount of narrative and the gorgeous voice acting, and I think Kratos is he's very good. He's not there are several actors here. There are a couple who I love. I actually love Odin. Like Odin, he is beautifully cast. That is a voice that I want to hear all the time. And I forget the guy's name. Darn it. I should have been prepared here. He's the guy he's very famous. I don't know if he's very famous, but
what character?
Odin?
For Odin, Mark Rylance. So Mark Rylance, he was the
Richard
BFG.
Schiff.
Richard Schiff is what Google says.
Okay. Oh yeah, no. You're right. No, it is Richard Schiff, the actor, but he reminds me of a Mark Rylance, and Mark Rylance was the BFG. He was in Ready Player One, for example. He was Halliday, the one of the that voice, that sort of. It's just I thought he's just it's a very interesting take on Odin. Very interesting take on Thor, whoever that actor is. Like, when it comes to Kratos, I see what they're going for. I think it's like more empathizing with a teenager, Atreus, more than Kratos so far. And I think that's interesting. It's almost like maybe I want to spend more time with the Kratos, like mental sort of, conundrum that is in front of him. And maybe that'll come towards the end of the game. I think probably will ramp up towards the end of the game. Right now, it's a lot of the kid kind of being just an asshole teen, which is fair. It's not a bad thing, but he's being, independent, like spreading his wings, whatever you want to spreading his wings. But with Kratos, I see, I have some empathy for him. I think they could have probably used a little bit more moments with him. I don't want to like besmirch the narrative people there. The story is very interesting, but I think some of the like Freya, she's a cool character with Kratos. The code switch, I mean, the switch so quickly from like, I will kill this man, I'm going to destroy him, to like, fine, let's team up. It's like that. It's a little too much given I am spending hours watching cutscenes. Literally, this is absolutely, 10 minutes of cutscenes of 7 minutes. And it does stack up to like a couple hours, I think. I would have hoped a little bit more robust writing, and I think that applies to the Kratos father thing.
Mm-hmm.
Was that too much? It's a little too.
No,
I
what's interesting though, John?
Yeah.
I want to mention this because like I have more of a I've been more engaged by the past God of War games, that trilogy on the PS3,
sure.
and Kratos was a manho. Like
that too. Yeah, actually, he's a
reformed manho essentially. Like he was very, very promiscuous.
Well,
like,
now he's a reformed.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so just I think that makes the story even more interesting because like I remember I think it was a bigger deal in 2018 than with Ragnarok, but like I was like, what? He had a kid? Of course he had a kid. He was so promiscuous, but like
no, he
he's
has
actually
one
gonna
kid
parent.
Yeah, he has many kids across the lands. Like we know this. Kratos, he was slaying enemies. Anyway,
so see him like actually be a father to one of these kids. It was such a left turn from the original 3 that
it is.
I think that this is something I wanted to point out.
I love
think it's
that they reinvented it. I don't think it could have hit the same as it did if they kept the same formula as the originals.
Oh, I agree. And I think this is like Corey being different than David Jaffe. Like there's all these there's like reasons why it was different, but I think that was just one of those from like someone who really did like the original God of War games. Like I was like, oh, that's interesting. That was like a different take. And I don't think Ragnarok really, it was more 18 that I felt that way about.
I'll tell you, I'm enjoying it more. And then it did have me go back to the original God of War and like, replay. I'm starting to replay some of the old, like classic first God of Wars. And it is still fun. It's still very interesting, the combos and the weapon progression and everything. But to Sam, your point, it is a bit shallow of an experience. Mm-hmm. So, I think, but it's still fun, great fun, and like really terribly violent and terribly sexual. Like this is not something that should be played by most people. I think there's a very certain demographic of 18 to 24. Like okay, we're going for those guys. So I think Ragnarok, it shows a really cool evolution. I just wish the narrative were a little bit more balanced and maybe a little bit better. Hence my thing of just give these PlayStation guys TV series to make. Like that obviously that's what they want to do. Let them have the medium that actually works. Otherwise, it does feel like fragmented as hell. Like, here's story for 10 minutes. Here's gameplay for 20 minutes. Like, I like some of the conversations that happen in the boat or in wherever, but that feels very shoehorned in. It feels like a narrative experience and a gaming experience. Whereas Red Dead was so organic. And man, your heart is like in it. Your heart is in it. And I wish it were more like that.
That is a great comparison because those horse rides in between scenarios where there was some sort of filler conversation, it's like they were perfectly manicured for it to work.
Beautiful. Yeah.
And whereas like sometimes you're mid-sentence in the boat and it's just done. And you're still like,
we'll get back to this later, he'll say.
yeah.
Yeah, they're super non sequiturs. They're super non, and they're interesting. It's like, tell me about the biggest enemy you faced or whatever. Very cool. But like Red Dead was, man, you were progressing this
It's like
tapestry, you know,
masterfully crafted narrative in that game.
Yeah.
Like,
and I think that's the problem. That's a problem because like Red Dead took 10 years to develop or whatever, you know. But if you're going to try to do that, then I think PlayStation could have probably done a little bit better. That said, I am looking forward to whatever God of War streaming project, you know, happens to hit in a couple years. I'm sure there's something. Those are the games I'm playing. Yeah.
Nice. You also mentioned you got back into Balatro, right? You're playing a little bit more?
I did. Yeah, I did, but I stopped. It's like, you know, you want to dabble in crack. You don't want to become a crack user.
No, I've strapped crack to my face all break. I like had a pipe
funny.
that would like I would just nod and then drop down into my mouth, take a hit, flip it back up on my head.
Hey, it's a testament to the game is fantastic. That guy is a friggin' genius. Like, it's really fun. I look forward to the Balatro universe. Like whatever comes up. That's like a great first film from a director. You can't wait for the second film. That's a Jordan Peele. Like, what's he gonna do after Get Out? You know?
Yeah, it's kind of like PlayerUnknown with PUBG.
Sure.
Right? Like,
he's right.
And he's working on his next thing right now. Yeah, that's cool.
Well, Notch also. Why is Notch after 15 years, right? Minimum. Why is it's like such a, even if you're not that interested, you are interested. Just because you know, that was your first go. Let's see what you got next.
Well,
so
listening to I watched this interview with LocalThunk over break, and he's like, "Well, I have enough money to make a new game now, so I can do something else now." So I think that's kind of neat. It's. I'm curious if it's going to be like Vampire Survivors, though, John, where like Balatro has legs. Like, it's going to keep going for a bit, I think.
I mean, it could. Like, I think creatively, I got to figure it depends on the person. It's like Animal Well, the guy who made Animal Well.
Sure.
You know, it depends where he wants to go with this. But Balatro, I think you're right. But, you know, you could kind of have the team maybe do that. I don't know. If it depends what creatively, you know, scratches this guy's itch, you know. Let's see. I hope it's I always like seeing new IP. That's why what was it, Intergalactic? Is that the game?
The Naughty Dog game with the Porsche in space with CDs and stuff. Yeah,
it's
with
like
branding. Yeah,
it's a CD
with
ROM.
all which is, by the way, it's so funny. I don't know. I can't hate on it. Yeah, look, Sony,
I had many Discmans. I come from the era of the Walkman and the Discman, so I approve.
Yeah. Dude, I have a 12-year-old who asked me for CDs just to pin on her wall. And I'm like, what? She's like, yeah, I have all the music. You know, I have iTunes, I have whatever. We don't have a CD player. I don't know if she asked me to play the CD, what I would put it in. Maybe like the Xbox or something.
Xbox?
Yeah.
I think Xbox can play CDs. PC. Or
can they?
PS5.
PS5.
Yeah.
I don't know, actually. You know, that's
can the
a good call
Xbox Series X play? I thought it was just a DVD Blu-ray.
DVDs can play CDs.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. Sony invented the CD, man, and then they basically invented the DVD platform too. So they're I mean, the founder of Sony, that goat. Awesome though. Joe, we gotta talk about this. You've been playing Disco Elysium. I've been playing Disco Elysium.
What?
Nice.
Yeah. Yes. That's why we wanted Sam here. Asif, I finished it.
Holy shit.
Wow. Okay, so you just like mainline this over break?
Yes.
I did not. I didn't. But sorry.
Oh man, he was chasing that tequila fucking sunset. Love that.
Oh, great.
So I can talk about where I'm at, Joe. You talk
about where you're at, and I won't talk about more than that.
Okay. So look, there's a lot of games out right now. We'll get into what I've been playing. But I met Measurehead.
Sure.
Yeah. And boy, was that a conversation.
Yeah, the racist bodyguard.
Yes. He is super racist.
He's basically
Incredibly
into like
racist.
chronology, right?
Like, wow.
Mhm.
But also, I came across the statue of the the most wasteful king or whatever in the history of the land.
The horseback
the statue that's like been obliterated.
It's a
And put back
statue
here?
that they rebuilt, but they made it look like the time that it was blown up.
Yeah.
I was just like, having the idea of having a statue to the worst leader in the history of the land in the poorest part, like, that's the wealth disparity there. Like, I haven't seen wealth disparity like that since I went to the Moscone Center in San Francisco, man. But it's like, I love how the environment tells a story in this game.
Mhm.
The fuck the police written on the street sign, like, all that shit's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
The other thing I've noticed early on, I can't, did you create your own guy or did you pick one of the templates?
I on purpose used a template because I was like, what am I even creating? Like, I don't understand anything
I
enough
felt
to
the
create
same.
something.
I felt the same way. So I chose the intellectual one.
Yeah, me
the
too, me
thinker.
Yeah, the thinker. So like, I love how there's these different, like, I don't know if they're narrators or like what they are in your head, but like the way that you interact with like the encyclopedia or these
personality traits
Yeah.
within your skull. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's all really interesting. How that factors into like rolling and chances, like your probabilities going up or down on trying to convince someone or anything. I think all that's really cool.
Yeah.
I just want to talk about how I'm playing this game. I'm playing Disco Elysium on Steam on a Mac,
Yes.
which is weird as hell. But
Yeah.
my first time with it, I was like, I'm going to get even weirder. I played it airplayed to my television while using a Nintendo Switch Pro controller.
Ooh, that's good. How'd it run?
Terribly. The button mapping didn't work or anything. I could move around and I could hit, I could, select the dialogue box selections. But like, when it came to navigating, like the point and click doesn't really work on that controller. I read somewhere that the DS4 is probably the best controller to use for this
with
game.
the touchpad. Yeah.
Yeah, on PC. But I'm like, I'm not going to do that. So yesterday night when I got back into it, I was watching Summer Games Done Quick, and I was just playing it with the keyboard and mouse, which I really do think is the right way to play it.
Are you still on day one?
Yes.
Okay.
I have not made that much progress, Sam. It's
Have
not for
you
lack of
gone
trying.
to the investigation?
No, I didn't know where I was going, so I
Yeah.
talked to the lady. She gave me some gloves, and then I heard the commotion over by Measurehead, so I
Yeah.
was like, I'm gonna go talk to Measurehead, and then
The labor strike.
he did not let me go past him, so I just started wandering the other way. I will say it took me a while to even remember how to like put on my pants and stuff in the game, so
Yeah.
Sure.
I was just kind of confused for the first 20 minutes I played it because I hadn't played it in years, so I just started a new save file. But I like everything about it. I like how the conversation mechanic works. I think the
For sure.
atmospheric music's really good.
Oh, the music is just some of the best. It's
Yeah.
Music's solid. Yeah.
it's spellbinding.
And its art style is really striking.
It's kind of like a vivid sort of psychedelic painting.
Dude, Measurehead's girlfriend is like a cartoon character. But
She's
yeah,
like, get him, sweetie.
she's like a caricature of Harley Quinn, if that's possible.
Yeah.
But
right.
yeah, I'm really digging it. I just haven't had time. I'll get into why I haven't had time and other things, but I like it. I'll keep playing it.
Yeah. So
Joe,
day
fill me
one.
in.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really want to say much, but
You can talk around it.
I could talk here. If I was giving a critical review, I would say this is a masterpiece. There's no way around that. If I'm looking for flaws, you can see some budgetary issues in some of the jankiness of navigation. And I'm cool with that. I'm just like looking for like, how did this thing get made? Basically, that's like, I don't know if that's a common thought when you're playing this, but it's so unlike anything. You're like, what inspired this? What brought these people together to make this? Where are the seams? And it took me to the end of the game.
So incredible.
Yeah.
Just how they've stitched together this background world and lore.
I mean, right down to the fact that like it took me like 45 hours. And by the time I saw credits, like I could more or less tell you, maybe I would struggle to regurgitate some of the pronouns, that they come up with. But I could more or less tell you the history of this parallel world. It's an Earth. It's almost like Pangea went a different direction. Like, is that what, like, is that, it's like after the dinosaurs, this is another dice roll of how Earth could have turned out. That's
it
kind of
also
what
feels
it
like it's a parallel universe where communism took over instead of capitalism, like the world.
Yeah.
Because there's even Measurehead is like very anti-communist. He also says some wild shit about eating potatoes. I don't know. As a Maun, I think I'm a Maun. I felt offended by what he was saying. But
that's right.
I mean, that's Measurehead's whole thing. I think I felt offended by what he was saying.
Everyone who meets Measurehead should feel offended.
Yeah.
But like, I tried to push him too. That wasn't smart.
Oh wow.
Like Disco Elysium for me, 10 out of 10 game. Absolutely phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I wouldn't put it that far, and again, maybe in a subsequent episode I'll say more why, but it's all nitpicks. I mean, this is unbelievable.
I mean,
the
you
writing
said masterpiece,
is so
mate. You said
it
masterpiece.
is, yeah, totally.
I mean, you can't get much better than masterpiece.
You know what else I've been playing, Sam?
What are you, Final Fantasy, I assume?
The finals. I've been playing the finals.
The finals? You've been playing the finals? Get the fuck out! Are you serious? Hell yeah!
It's been a Sam week.
Best day ever for Sam.
Oh my gosh, love that.
Yeah, we're trying to replace X Defiant, and I know.
Wait, your crew's not going to single-handedly turn around X Defiant?
It's like hard to find a match and stuff.
You can't even download the game anymore. Like if I wanted to join you on your crusade of saving X Defiant, I can't.
Yeah,
I didn't download it.
Yep.
So that's stupid.
Yep.
That's cool. Well, you guys digging the destructible environments and stuff.
Yeah. I'm trying to get a feel for, like, there are multiplayer games I play where it's like, I'm not ever going to get good at this. And I do not feel that way about this one so far, which is good. That's in terms of
can be a steep learning curve for just like a few, like 5-10 games where you're like, I'm not really sure the flow. And then once you understand sort of what's happening, it's like, okay, I know what's happening and I know how this should progress. I have
an analog to the finals. You can humor me if you will. So far, it feels like the finals is the FPS League of Legends, which I really took to 15 years ago now. Jesus. And that's because League of Legends, I could get by thinking more than the opponent, because I'm not I'm never going to be 12 and have the best, APM or whatever. I'm an aging man, but can I think cleverly and get out of a pickle in League of Legends? And I kind of felt that way the past couple nights playing the finals, where I could
100%
wiggle my way out via cleverness. That I'm making it sound like I'm very clever, but the point is, like, my Twitch reflexes aren't the bottleneck for the finals.
So, Joe, I got to ask you, and the answer to this our friendship is in the balance here.
Oh no.
Yeah. What class are you playing?
Tiny guy.
You're playing a fucking light?
Yeah.
It's over, mate. I'm so sorry. I gotta
go. All the Disco Elysium love, all that goodwill, gone. Flushed down the toilet.
What's wrong with the tiny guy? I play the archer.
I hate the lights. I despise them. They are just the worst thing to fight, to deal with.
Well,
they're stun guns that completely interrupt everything you're doing. Like, why do they have 3 dashes that cool down so quickly? They can go invisible? Nah, mate. Go take a jog. Absolutely not.
every feature you just named, those things I'm not using or don't have access to. So.
Oh, hell yeah. Okay, well then that's not too bad. Never mind.
I'm a grappling hook guy so far.
Oh, nice, dude. Spider-Man!
Exactly. Anyway, that's what I've been playing. Asif, floor is yours.
Okay, so I'm going to get to why I haven't been playing more Disco Elysium. Well, first of all, like, Shack News was on break for 2 weeks. I was on break for like 6 days because I was editing and scheduling and doing all sorts of stuff. We uploaded all of our deliberation videos to Facebook and Twitter, as well as YouTube. So that took up a lot of my time that first week of break. Second week of break, I played Animal Crossing New Horizons because when everyone else burnt themselves out in that game, I didn't. So I'm still sitting at like 60 hours played in that game right now. There was a night a couple of nights ago where I had I had like shooting stars. I had like 100 shooting stars in a night. It was crazy.
How? Is that a dice roll?
Yeah, it's completely random. But yeah, so now I have a ton of star fragments. I need to learn some more DIY recipes and whatever. I'm at a point now where I'm trying to figure out what to do next. Isabel's still telling me I have too many trees on my island. I keep telling her it's part of our economy, damn it. But yeah, I'm not getting a 5-star island rating because I have too many trees. So we'll see what happens on that front. But I feel like I'm kind of done with the redesign that I was doing. I found a new fish. Like, I'm just kind of playing the game like people play it now. So yeah, playing that game. I'm playing Balatro like crazy. So I've won it. Basically every deck that I have unlocked in the game, I have won something. The lower stake, right? So there's this one deck where I think it's just spades and hearts. There's another one where there's no face cards. So I won with both of those. Yeah, I'm enjoying it. It's like my second screen game. So if I'm listening to a podcast or even like, a lot of the work I was doing, like uploading videos or whatever, it's a great time killer when you're just sitting there waiting for YouTube to process your video or something. So I'm playing Balatro. It was obviously my game of the year along with Shack News. It won mobile game of the year, indie game of the year.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's still really good, still enjoying it. And then, yeah, I mentioned it, I think I might have mentioned it on the last podcast. I can't remember when we recorded, but...
It's been like 3 weeks.
Yeah, F-099 had just released the Frozen World Tour update, and what I didn't realize at the time, I thought it was just going to be like a Frozen Grand Prix like last winter. No, they created a whole new mode. It's 9 races. And it's points based, so where you place is part of the points you earn, but then there's also like these sparkling things that you pick up that are part of the like event. So it's like the currency for the event adds to your points. So yeah, I placed 4th overall. I think it was my second Frozen World Tour attempt. So that was pretty good. I have won the game. I won F-099 mode twice over break.
Yeah.
Once
Jesus.
on Frozen Mute City 1. So that's my first Mute City 1 win. And then trying to remember what the other one was. Was it Frozen Big Blue? I think it was either Frozen Big Blue or I don't know, something like that. But yeah, 2 F-099 wins over break, guys. Come on. That puts me up to 7.
Hell yeah.
And
That's
yeah,
fun.
like I'm racing extremely well. Let me see if I found the video. Oh yeah, this was the mirror version of Mute City 1, but also with snow. So yeah, no, I've won F-099 twice over break. I'm also just placing very highly. I'm finding myself in first place a lot. The Mute City race, that was wire to wire. So I was first place after the first lap, second lap, third lap, and fourth lap. One cool thing about the Frozen World Tour, because it is 9 tracks, they cut it down to 3 laps per race. And that really changes the dynamic of how you manage your boost and all that stuff. So it's fun as hell. But yeah, I've never raced better in F-099 than right now.
It's a good thing I didn't promise you a cake per victory. I'd be broke.
Out of luck at this point. But yeah, like I expect to win a lot more. And yeah, I'm gonna start out there. I know. I'll save it for the next segment. But yeah, so those are the games I was playing a lot of over break. I actually did not. I didn't touch my Xbox or my PlayStation over break. I played PC games and I played obviously Balatron on my phone. And yeah, I played Bubbletron. Bubbletron's actually been pretty alive these days with people playing it. There's like people trying to get number 1 on the leaderboard. And yeah, the soundboard update has been received pretty well by almost everyone who's tried it.
Nice. That was fun to make.
And instead of having to screenshot just a static image of the website now, I've been capturing videos of it each day when I post the solution. So yeah.
Sweet, man.
Yeah, that's what I've been playing. But I think we're about to be playing... No, we're not. I don't know. It's a segment. It doesn't say game.
It's somewhere. It's a middle ground of a segment and
It's
game.
a gamified segment about games.
There you go.
There you go. So stay tuned for that. Let's go.
All right, everyone. Welcome to Gaming Resolutions Draft 2025. I was putting together a gaming resolutions segment. Just felt fitting considering it's the first episode, not only of the year, but of the season, as coined by Asif. And I was thinking back and I was like, surely we did this last year, but no, we started in February. And the thing I was remembering is that we had a sort of a regrets, like a backlog regrets segment. So I just wanted to, before we play the next game, I'm going to very quickly recap how that went. TJ was with us that day. Asif, I don't want to use the word committed, but you regretted not playing Pikmin 4, Demon's Souls, and Disco Elysium. So you have some improvement beyond 0% here in that you started Disco. Yeah. I've
started one game. Well, I've started Demon's Souls. I'm just categorically terrible at it. I have not played enough Pikmin 4. Yeah. That's a great shame upon my household.
We'll do another backlog regret, which I had some portmanteau for that I can't remember. TJ wanted to play Dragon Quest 11, Helldivers 2, which I think he did play if memory serves.
Yeah, a little.
And System Shock 2. Well, I wonder if he meant the remake. Did he mean, was it remake?
I think he reviewed the remake. So.
There you go. Well
was that the first? Did they do a System Shock 2 remake or the first one?
There's like an enhanced edition coming out or already out.
So he might not have played 2.
I'm a little bit confused about
TJ, if you're listening, let us know in the comments.
Yeah, please. John, are you ready?
I am ready.
For me to shame you.
Yeah, I'm ready. This will not go well.
In the past, let's say 11 months.
Yes.
Did you make good on your promise to play Death Stranding, The Last of Us 2, or Metroid Dread?
Not but and. Played all 3, baby. No, I failed miserably. I downloaded all 3.
That is the first step. Yeah.
That is the first step.
He seemed like closest to playing The Last of Us 2.
Yeah.
I was very close. I will tell you that Death Stranding I got to the load screen, like literally, and then I'm like, wait a second, this is like going to be 80 hours. Do I really want to do this right now? And then I backed out. The Last of Us 2, I played a little bit of The Last of Us 1, and then I'm like, no, this is too fucking dour. I'm going to stop right here. And then Metroid Dread, I just frankly forgot existed until this very podcast. So
wow,
that's my 3. But I played other games, Joe. So
no, there you go. Listen, hey, a friendly jab in the gut for you. And my shame, I came out pretty good, guys. Dragon Age Inquisition.
Oh, there we go.
I put in 15 hours and then I decided not to play more because it's a bad game. I count that. KOTOR 2, I did not touch.
2014.
It may have been good 10 years ago. It was not.
I don't think so.
All right. You said it.
I didn't like it. It wasn't my game of the year. I'm just saying Shack News voted for it.
Sure.
And they did not vote for Veilguard. So
that's right. KOTOR
2?
I did not play.
How dare you?
I know. I want to. And Disco.
But
that's in the bag.
You beat Disco. You saw credits in the Disco Elysium, so that's impressive.
In what year, though? 2024 2025?
Ooh, 2025, like a week ago.
Yeah, no.
Shoot.
No. JB, jab him. That's your jab. He's open.
Wham, wham. Wham, wham, wham.
He's poking you in the chest right now.
Poke.
Shoot. All right. Well, we'll do another backlog regret soon. But today's exercise is similar but different. We're going to do 4 rounds of drafting gaming resolutions for ourselves. They are pre-written, and they're pre-written because someone's going to get the easier draft, and you're going to try and want to get that. And you're probably not going to get it.
Okay.
Because most of them are pretty tough.
Okay.
So it's not really a game so much as just a fun, stupid exercise. And the way we will kick this off is I will never go first because I don't know how else to do this. Well, maybe I could do a dice roll.
Why don't you do like a snake draft?
Yeah, but but it's not interesting if it's a snake draft because then because it's too symmetrical, I think.
Okay. I don't know.
So everyone DM me a number. How about that?
A number? Between what? How big of a number do you want?
Yeah, 40
Between
billion.
I'm going to do a 4 of a dice that has 4 sides. So between 1 and 4.
What kind of dice? You just made. Wait, hold on.
It's on
Four-sided
Google.
dice?
Yeah,
Wait,
it's
how
on
does it
Google.
work?
It's like
It's a pyramid.
triangle? It's like
It's a pyramid.
Okay. My lord, you just broke my brain. This is the end of a long week.
I'm trying to think of have I ever had a pyramid dice in my life?
Yeah. You guys have never played D&D.
I have, but it was in the 80s.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
My eyes just inverted. Okay,
I'm into like the 12-sided,
You don't have to
dodecahedrons.
DM me, John. Oh, okay, I got it.
Oh, I did. I got you.
All right, Sam and John, send again because you did the same number.
Well, I did
Oh,
first,
goodness.
so...
That's true.
That's true. And then
There
you
you
both,
go.
Well,
you
I didn't know it was a
did
rush.
again.
I didn't know
you
we were
both did it again.
I'm glad you really thought this one out this time, Joe.
We both did it again. We both picked the same number again.
We're all done.
So we
done.
go one more time. Let's go.
No, we're all done. We're all done. I'm picking it.
I'm just
Just
gonna have
spamming,
Ozzie flip a
spamming
coin.
you.
Yeah, Ozzie might jump in here in a little bit.
Nice. Sam goes first for being closest to the dice. John
For
goes
knowing what a
second.
3-sided dice. I mean, 4-sided dice is. Pretty good.
John goes second for being the same number but saying it slower. Osip's in third. I'll go fourth.
Okay.
And then I guess we'll do Snake. Sure. Why
Cool.
not? So anyway, you see these rounds before you. We're going to get one pick per round. Try and pick the most plausibly doable draft pick
So
for you.
just to clarify for the folks at home, you have these words in H2, round 1, and then there's 5 bullet points. Are we only allowed to draft from this pool in round 1?
Yes.
Okay. That's weird. That's not how any fantasy draft works, but okay.
So
Of course,
would you like to
just want to
read
point it
out?
out to the folks at home that no other draft has ever worked like this. But
I'll tell you why I did it this way, because
I
I
get it.
made it so it gets increasingly implausible as
Okay.
the rounds progress.
that makes sense. So who's first? Sam?
I'm
Sam
first.
is first.
You're on the clock, man.
Yep. Joe, did you want to read out what my options
Sure,
are?
I can read everyone. Yes. Sam's options are complete at least one game from your backlog each month. That's 12 games. And that's for a person who writes about new games. Challenging. Complete a game from a genre you tend to dislike or avoid. Join or start a regular gaming group or party for multiplayer games. Hey, if you already do that, you'd have to do that with a second group. That sounds challenging. Set up
make friends.
set up a proper cable management for your gaming setup. Aspirational. Complete a classic game everyone keeps telling you to try, but you have no interest in. Those are your options. Sam, where are you headed?
Well, originally my head is at if I could join you to play some of the finals. That seemed like a pretty good
Oh,
idea.
that's very
to me.
nice.
We could do that. We're already playing with someone in
buddies.
Hawaii that's 9 hours away from us, so why not include
Yeah.
Australia?
Buddies.
Yeah. Look, I think I'll do that. I'll play a little bit of the finals with you, mate.
I love that. I love that. Sam, you're in.
Hell yeah! Boom, round
Okay.
1. I've already completed round 1. I haven't even. I'm already ahead of you all.
Yeah, that was
John's
good.
second pick, right?
Oh, you just wait. Yeah, my second pick. I'm going to pick. So just go ahead, pick.
Go for it.
Round 1, set up proper cable management for your gaming setup.
Damn.
I feel like I'm pretty good with that already, but this will push me to like tighten it up. You know, there's a couple
What do you-
things little.
Yeah, what do you see as your shortcomings in this department right now?
There's a few wires that are just like hanging a little akimbo. I think I just need some like proper ties and attach them to the TV, like bring them to the stem, you know?
Yep.
That would be good. But there's like a lot of stuff going on back there. That's why the one thing that I found interesting at CES was like Samsung has this wireless box now that you can basically put wherever you want. So you hang the TV and the TV's just, you know, you plug it in, but then like all the components can be somewhere pretty different, like in a thing, and it's wirelessly being transmitted. I'm curious about latency and stuff,
Yeah,
but it seems like, you know, from a cable management perspective, that's the friggin' dream.
Yeah,
So-
that's probably more for like
home theater.
watching content than playing games. But you know, what I mean? So
Probably. But you would
latency's
think
not
like,
that big of a deal when you're watching football or something.
yeah, but you would think like the latency has to be pretty good because like not everybody, but gamers would want this kind of device, right? Anyway, I'd be curious to see. But anyway, I think
you should request one and review it.
Yeah, right. I'll request the
cable management though. That was on my board. Okay,
Yeah,
am I picking third?
Yeah, you're up.
Okay, so multiplayer friends and cable management have been taken.
Yep.
I am not going to play a game a month from my backlog. That's not happening. I just don't have time.
It's not even play, it's complete. It's even worse.
Yeah. That's impossible. That's what I'm saying. I can't even play a game from my backlog.
This is big round 3 vibes from that one there, Joe.
So I'm going to say complete a game from a genre I tend to dislike or avoid.
What genres are those for you?
Final Fantasy games.
All right, so RPGs.
No.
So
I
complete
like
a game
RPGs.
from a genre you tend to dislike. What's a genre you tend to dislike?
Fine. Souls games.
Yeah, I'll give it to you. Sure.
Yeah, Soul's like, all right, cool.
Souls likes. It's not. I don't dislike them. I avoid them.
Yeah.
Just want to make that clear. It's not that I dislike them. I avoid them. So I'll come back to. It's even on my gaming's game 2 on my shame list. I will complete a game from the Souls like genre this year. But
that's a good pick. And it was either that one or the classic game, which I will take. And I'm going to make that Half-Life 2, which I started I think it was you, Sam.
Yes.
Were you
It
getting
was
on my
me.
case?
I was yelling at you. I remember. Yeah.
Well, I put in about 5 hours since you yelled at me.
Good man.
And, man, that was not fun. I totally see why it was fun, but let's pull back the curtain here, guys. That game came out almost 20 years ago. It's not fun anymore.
Interesting.
That's how I feel.
Ozzie, I didn't realize Joe had objectively bad taste or wrong ideas. I'm learning. That's crazy.
Look, I think Valve games tend to be showcases of technology when they come out, and a lot of the wow moments come from the technological advancements that are happening in front of you. So I can say when I played it, when it came out, there was no better game than Half-Life 2.
But see, I obviously believe you guys. I'm just saying, playing a month ago, it's really hard to get in that headspace. Mm-hmm. But because of the gaming resolutions draft, now I have to play it.
Yes.
Sucker. So does this mean you have the first pick in the second round?
That's right. So the second round is upon us, and here are our options. There are fewer options this time. Achieve 100% completion, the metric being achievements or trophies, in at least 3 games this year. That's pretty tough. Start a gaming blog or YouTube channel.
Yeah, brother.
That's freaking hard.
Fuck you.
That's crazy.
Yeah, Asif, just do it on the side.
No, fuck you. How dare you?
Complete a game on its hardest difficulty setting. Build your first gaming PC from scratch. And guys, that's my pick. I'll be doing that so I can play Half-Life 2 at maximum settings.
Ooh,
I like how
whoa.
That's the only one of that option that's literally going to cost thousands of dollars.
Well, not if I want to play Half-Life 2 at maximum settings. I could probably do that for $700.
Well, like, I have a gaming PC, so I can't take that anyway. So, okay, I'm second pick in the second round, right?
Yes.
These are all terrible.
Mm-hmm.
I'll complete a game on its hardest difficulty. It'll be a Souls-like, because they don't have difficulty settings.
Ooh.
Oh.
There you go.
Very good.
Good pick.
It's on to John now. You can start a YouTube channel, John.
Well, thanks. I'm
start
gonna
a
go
blog,
with
John. You should start a gaming blog.
You know, the funny thing is, like, oh man, if this were only last year, I think achieve 100% completion was the one I wanted. Yeah, in at least 3 games this year, and I think I know
the 3
2 of the games already. And
an unnamed 3D Mario game.
Well, oh yeah, that's easy. So
there's your third one.
there is my third one. Yeah, that's the one.
Okay,
that's good.
Easy to 100% a 3D Mario game. All right, buddy.
It's not, but for John it is.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay.
Oh, that's for me.
I-
No, I was about to make like a stupid joke, like that's going to be 2 weeks and done. That's finished in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But then the other two, God of War Ragnarok. I think the only problem is the Ravens are kind of annoying to get.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah, they
but
are.
I'm feeling good about that. I'm halfway
Good.
done there, and yeah, the challenge is the okay. Oh my gosh, this is
I do
gonna be
not
tough.
envy the Ragnarok one, man. That's
Well, just
that's
because
tough,
of that arena, right?
Very challenging.
Like I forget what they call it. So I did like one aspect. Let's see what happens.
That's a good pick, though. That
Yeah.
leaves Sam with having to start a YouTube channel.
Sorry, Sam.
yeah. I'm being real. I don't know about that one, buddy.
I think
Yeah, that's your pick, man. That's the only one
I
left on
think
the
you
board.
have to pick it, and also
Okay.
I will be checking in on a weekly basis to see where you are
Oh, interesting.
I mean,
on your
Congrats.
adventure.
Let me ask you a question, Joe. After these rounds, just given it's a draft, are there trades that might happen?
Sure, we could do a trade round
That could be interesting.
at the end, or do you wanted to do a mid game?
I mean, I don't know if it makes sense mid game, but like,
Yeah, we'll do one trade round at the end.
So,
Okay.
Sam, you're on the clock for round 3, but Joe, you should read the
Yeah.
round 3 options for the folks at home.
We have complete every mainline entry in a major franchise, reach the top 1% rank in a competitive game, complete a FromSoft game. You can only buy a new game when you've completed a backlogged one for the whole year.
That's impossible.
That's
no one picked
impossible.
that.
That's impossible. But backlogged one. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Well, I guess.
And the last option is complete a 24-hour charity gaming stream.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm obviously gonna pick complete a FromSoft game.
Oh, come on.
Because can't have us have been able to knock out 2 rounds by playing one
Three.
game.
It
Oh,
would've
3
been all
rounds
three.
by 3 rounds by playing
Yeah.
one game.
That's funny.
I
Yeah,
was really hoping it was going to be on the board.
and I don't think
pretty
I
good.
can. I don't think I can reach top 1% rank in a competitive game. That's crazy. And I obviously can't do. I cannot complete a backlog game before buying a new one. Are you serious? No. That's
That's the dream.
Okay,
That's the
then
dream.
That means John's next.
Yeah. Reach the top 1% rank in a competitive game. I feel like I've done this. And I feel like I know the game that would do it. I think I know the game. I think it would be NES Championship Edition.
Wow.
Oh.
Yeah, what is it called? Is that what it's
Nintendo
called?
World Championships NES.
Nintendo World Champion NES Edition. There you go.
Yeah.
That one. I really do because I think the user base is probably a little bit lower, but also I feel like I was very close to getting some like top scores there.
S++.
But Yeah, that could be hubris though. That is absolutely hubris.
I think
Okay,
you're
let's
right,
do-
though, that it's a smaller player pool, so you probably have a chance. And also, like, you've played those games.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough like to reach the top 1% rank in a competitive game. The parameters really have to be like ironed out. So Joe, I'd like to hear more, but I'm gonna pick that one.
Okay.
Okay,
Good
so
pick.
that leaves me with the third pick.
Yep.
Okay, so I just want to. I'm trying to figure out what the top 1% of F-Zero 99 would be. Yeah, it's
Right.
Yeah, that'd be ridiculous.
But does that mean top 1% in a match or in a season? You know what I mean? What's the parameter? Because if it's
Yeah,
like top 1%
technically-
in
Technically, I already
Yeah.
did it. I won F-Zero 99 on
That's what
January
I'm
1st.
saying.
I was
Yeah,
1
like-
out of 99.
yeah,
Anyway.
like a
I
good
think-
Call of Duty run, like I could do.
Yeah,
I
I
would-
think
I
if
would be
you
able to
get
place-
on a leaderboard for even 15 minutes, you
Oh.
satisfy this one.
1 out
Wow.
of 99 technically isn't top 1%, though.
I know, Sam. Come on.
Ooh.
You want
Right.
to actually
That's
me right
funny.
now? You're gonna
That's
very good.
actually it's 99. 1 divided by 99 is slightly more than 1%. I know, but come
I
on.
screwed it up.
Anyway.
Hey, look, man,
So-
I gotta start a blog. Come on, man.
That is true. It is true.
I'm gonna do something I've already done before. I don't think I'm gonna actually do this, but I've done it before. Completed 24-hour charity gaming stream.
Wow.
I did that for like 8 years.
I think
That's
I think you
wild.
would definitely be able to do that. You've done it. Yeah, that's the thing.
I've done it, but man, we're getting older, man, and sleep is good.
That's very true.
My back is not the same as it was 10 years ago.
That's fair.
I like my bed. I got a purple bed, purple pillows. It's heaven. Anyway,
Nice.
but yeah, I would pick that. So that leaves you, Joe, to have to pick between the backlog one, which no one should pick.
I mean, I think I'm going to eat my vegetables and pick that. I
Yeah.
can only buy a new game when I've completed a backlogged one, because the reality is, and I'm choosing to move this leftover to round 4, by the way, so that Sam has an option at the end.
We all have an option. There's 4 options in round 4.
No, I'm saying Sam will be railroaded again for
you're saying okay.
Absolutely boned.
Okay, fine.
Joke, are you able to create a stockpile? Like, for instance, complete 5 backlog games
And then buy 5 backlog games.
and then buy 5 new games?
Oh, like 5 like tokens.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah. So if you clear out 5 from your backlog, can you buy 5 new games?
Yes.
That's cool.
That's good. Yeah, that's good. Oh my gosh.
I'm
The
still
trade
not doing
round
it.
is going to be very interesting.
Yeah, can't wait for the update on this. Joe, out of everyone though, he does play games like from like 8 years ago more often than most of
He
us.
is nuts.
Yeah.
He'll be like, "Hey, I tried out this
But it's
RPG
also
from 2018." Like, oh,
yeah, but not
okay.
just play. He has to complete it.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he just completed Disco Elysium. That was a
Yeah,
backlog
but that's
game.
a great game.
Also, like,
I'm telling you, Joe's got
Yeah.
great games in his backlog.
That's true. But doesn't
I
he
do.
have you got the tenacity to complete them?
well, also,
Talking
what,
about
like,
not buying
we
Switch
will
2 at
see.
launch.
Yeah,
what
true,
constitutes
true.
a backlog game? Like for example, I started playing God of War 1 on PS whatever.
That's a backlog.
Does
game.
that count? It is.
If you haven't played it before, you played it.
That's
before.
true. If you haven't played it before. Yeah, it should be a game you have never played, purchased,
It's just sitting in your library somewhere.
and it's sitting in your library or on your shelf.
I think that's the right
Yeah.
definition.
God,
Okay,
I
so
have countless of those.
Joe,
so-
you're the
yes.
first pick of the 4th round, right?
Yes, 4th round options are as follows. Get a world record speed run
Oh
in
my
any
gosh.
game.
That's insane. But wait, world record, not number 1 world record. You're just saying.
Get a world record speed run first place in any
Yes.
game.
So number 1, real okay. Just
Yep.
That seems
Complete-
crazy.
No, you can do it. Complete every Nintendo first party title released this year. Win an esports tournament. Just imagining John on stage next
With a
to like
$20,000
a couple
check.
teenagers.
John's at Evo.
I'm like, eat it.
John's playing
Okay.
Fatal Fury. City of the Wolves.
The sweating, I lose. I'm like second place. God damn it.
100% complete Witcher 3 on a new
No.
save.
I will
That's-
not.
Like, how? That's 80. That's
It's like 120
80
hours.
120,
Stupid.
yeah.
It's probably in the 200s, folks.
Yeah.
Oh,
You're-
Lord.
Complete every mainline entry in a major franchise, which is a holdover from round 3.
Yeah.
I will take, this one's not a no-brainer this time. This is tricky.
Come on.
I'm going to complete every mainline entry in a major franchise.
You
obviously.
bum.
You
Obviously.
took the round 3 one? Okay.
Yeah. Sure.
Bummy.
I'm going to pick this one because I don't think I could do any of the other 3. I'll
Brother.
complete every Nintendo first party title released this year.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's a great one. How's that not round 1?
Yeah. That's
This is a soft.
like, it's like you have to
Complete,
eat
though?
ice cream every day. I'm like,
This is a
okay.
gimme. Yeah. Oh, darn it.
I'm like, I love ice cream. I'll eat it. I'll brush my teeth twice a day. or
Pikmin
something.
4.
Yeah, I have to.
5.
I do. Yeah, we're not getting Pikmin 5 this year, but like, you
Oh,
know,
no.
Mario, probably. We know we're getting Metroid. Oh, god damn it. I just committed to playing Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition. Fuck. Fuck.
Oh, yeah.
Never mind. Oh, well. I'm
All
fine.
right. Let me
F-Zero.
say,
F-Zero NX, I'll play that.
I'm going to help Sam out because it's not 100% complete Witcher 3. That's insane. That's insane to me. What are you talking about? So that, like, one of these things does not belong, kids. And I'm going to go for get a world record speed run in any game. And I'm going to pick the most obscure game.
Yeah, that's a
Commodore
good idea.
64 style game. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. Good
Atari 800.
Mm-hmm.
Well done.
Dude, they had we're going to talk about it in the news segment, but they had a Rocket League segment on Awesome Games Done Quick last night. It's really interesting.
Oh,
Sweet. I should watch that.
Oh, yeah. It's on YouTube by now.
It all falls to you, Sam.
So what brilliant options do I have?
You are either going to win an esports tournament or 100% complete Witcher 3, right? On a new save?
Right.
All right. Well, as much as I know Bill would love me to do the latter of those two, I'm going to win an esports tournament. I'm going to put on my own esports tournament in my own bedroom.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Yeah, I don't read any, it's going to be...
So it's just you versus Lauren and something?
Yeah, that's it.
What are you playing?
I'm not
Halo
too
2?
sure. I'll ask her to let me win, though.
Halo
Maybe
2?
Yeah.
Sam sets up a Halo... You know what? Sam could spin up a Halo 2 tournament and just win.
I do think so. I think that's a good one. That was a little bit of a... That's meant for Sam. How's there not the finals, esports tournament? Make one up, man.
Oh, man, I don't know if I'm good enough for that. Oh, I've seen
The
some of
Shaq
these.
Finals. Make it an invitational and just invite me and Joe and Asif. But you probably demolish.
You would win on a technicality. We would.
The next Shaq News esports tournament's going to have Super Mario Maker 2 in it, so Sam's fucked.
Oh.
So that Mario Paint.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, the flash spot. Anyway,
also, one of the rounds is just going to be write an autoexec.bat that will get this computer to run DOS.
That's pretty good.
Can you imagine with a fucking Tesla Roadster on the line?
So did you update these with the names?
Yeah. Do you not see it? Maybe hit refresh.
No, I hit
you have to refresh.
Oh, good. Okay. Yeah, refresh. But I guess okay. Now it's there.
All right, let's do it. Let's do a trade round.
Yeah, and by the way, there are 2 extras. Do we just toss those? Complete at least 1 game from your backlog. Yes, we just toss them, right?
Let's toss them all.
100%. Okay.
Okay, Sam.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will trade you.
Ooh.
I'll trade you complete every Nintendo game first party title.
Oof.
For
That's a
complete
heavy
a
one.
FromSoft game.
No, thank you. I respectfully decline that offer.
Damn, I thought it was a sweet deal.
I'm listening to that one.
Xenoblade Chronicles X?
Not particularly. No, thank
you sure you don't have 200 hours?
Okay.
Look, I'm going to enjoy Metroid Prime 4. I'm going to enjoy whatever the hell they call Mario 3D. And I'll play Xenoblade, I guess.
Yeah, and Princess Peach came out already, so dodge the bullet.
Just for clarification, since this is the trade round, and it's important to know, reach the top 1% rank in a competitive game. So if I rank number 1 in a Call of Duty lobby,
No.
Why?
By Sam's stupid logic, and so there's only 8 people in that, so it's 1 out of 8. That's not 1%.
It has to be a 1 versus 100 situation.
I think so.
At minimum.
So
I want to see you on a leaderboard where your rank is mathematically top 1%. However you can get there.
It's just such bullshit that F-099 does not apply to this.
Mm-hmm.
How dare you?
1%. I would say top 5% makes sense.
Fortnite is the only way, John. Fortnite solo is the only way you're going to impress Joe here.
If any score-based game,
yikes. Okay.
Fortnite
if there's a
solo,
score-based
right?
game and you can get enough points, you should be able to get up pretty high on a leaderboard.
Yeah. But
Doesn't have to be.
Okay.
Like Geometry Wars, you had a score-based thing, had a world leaderboard. You could check your ranking to see.
Get a world record speed run. That's tough, right?
John, your task list is brutal.
I did just look at all 4 of yours. Set up proper cable management. It's that's even
it started really well. That's a Tuesday.
But that's still hard.
It's still hard.
Yeah.
I need clips. I need to reroute. That's not even easy.
I feel good about round 1. I feel good about round 2. Round 3, the parameter is shady. Because I think if you win a lobby, that is a win. That is top.
That's not top 1%. I don't think there's anything shady about it.
So I have to do a victory royale, basically.
How many
I think that's the only
Fortnite
way.
is 100?
Yeah.
That's a very good call. Thank you for that.
I think that's the only way you can do it.
Here's where my head was at.
Because Fortnite's a very intense game. I'm not happy with those.
Guys, imagine you boot up Ubisoft's Trackmaster or Trials or something.
Yes.
You know, and you
That seems
do
impossible.
the same level over and over again, and you find out your 500th best time on the desert map.
So you're telling me,
Yes.
like, I could play, like, a Riders Republic
Yes.
bike race and somehow do it? Okay.
But the top
Exactly.
1% of
That's
Riders
hard.
Republic players are so in.
They're good. They're very good.
Fortnite is the path, or
I
I
think
think
it
there's
is.
got to be some other thing.
But right, if
Fortnite
there's
is probably the
100,000 people in Riders Republic, you only got to get what, top 100, 1,000?
1,000.
But,
Top
do we not think that like
There's
Okay,
not
so I'll keep-
100,000 people playing Riders
No,
Republic.
but if there has been 100,000 people,
No
is what I'm
offense,
saying.
Ubisoft.
I'm gonna keep that one. Get a world record speedrun in any game feels like the more difficult one. What would you guys say?
Here's my question on that one.
Yeah.
Would Mario Maker count? Would being number 1 on a Mario Maker level count?
Ooh.
I guess so. Yeah, I guess so.
This ain't bad. This is.
I don't think that's bad. I think you could do that, John. I think you've done it.
Yeah, thank you. I think, and I've done the victory royale thing. I just kind of don't want to. That's like a tense situation.
It's hard.
Blood pressure gets up.
But like, you know,
Yeah.
Mario Maker level, it's like 3 minutes, you know, instead of the 20
Mario
or
Maker, I
30
feel
minutes.
I can do. You know,
Yeah.
like
You've done it.
somebody.
You've already done
Yeah,
it.
we'll do the. Yeah, so that's good because I was gonna look to help Sam out.
I'm all good, mate. I
Because I
don't
have-
need your help. I'm all good.
He's all-
The YouTube,
He doesn't want
gaming
any of our
blogger, the
trades.
YouTube channel.
He's happy with his draft. Well, you drafted first overall, right? Of course
Mate,
you're happy with yours.
I've completed like 2 of 4 things. I'm all good. I've got this locked and loaded. We're all,
Yeah, I'm
we're
still
all right
waiting on your gaming blog YouTube channel.
here.
Yeah, no, okay. All right, let's do it.
Okay, lock
Alright,
him in.
Jamie.
We're locked in.
We're locked in.
We're
Let's,
entering free agency now.
We're locked in. We did it.
All right, guys. Thanks for playing. This has been Gaming Resolutions Draft, and y'all are winners. All 4 of us.
We're
Yeah.
all winners because none of us chose to 100% complete The Witcher 3 on a new save.
Crazy.
No offense to Witcher fans. It's 2025. We can't be
Lot.
wasting time on that.
No, there's a
didn't
lot
know
of big
Bill was
games
showing
coming
up
out this
today.
year.
There's
I
a new
can't
Witcher coming out. It looks really nice.
There's GTA maybe coming
Yeah,
out. There's Monster Hunter coming out. There are big games this year, man.
Yeah, there's a monster. That's it. There's Monster Hunter coming. We gotta make room for that. Cool. Well,
Cool.
that was fun, Joe. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with more Shack Together with story time. Welcome to Story Time. Let's dive into the latest stories from the past week. This is Storytime Reviewsa, which is trademarked. It's a Reviews Palooza by Shacknewsa.
Uh-huh.
You have selected some of the weirder reviews that we've had. These kind of just dribbled in the beginning of the week.
Yep.
I think Lucas reviewed 2 of these.
Yep.
Lucas White reviewed Freedom Wars Remastered.
Ease.
Yes. I'm just looking at Freedom Wars real quick.
Oh, sure.
You say you like the gameplay loop, especially zipping around with thorns, latching onto a monster and desperately sawing its arm off. Rules. I have to agree with that. The loop is even more fun with friends. That's cool. He said the story is kind of peters away as you play through it, and the progression and the feeling of like achievement kind of wears off as the game progresses too.
This is
so
I believe, a launch window Vita game that they remastered.
So we're getting to that point now where we're seeing Vita games come out on other platforms.
Yeah.
That's good. It's out
Yeah.
on Switch. It's out on PC. It's one of those PS4, PS5 games. And yeah, got a 7 out of 10.
Nice.
And then, yeah, is it Ys? Or
Yes.
Ys.
It's Ease.
Ys Memoire, which is a remake, I believe. The Oath of Felghana.
Oh, wow. You're right.
It's a remake, right?
Yeah, very much. It's such a throwback look.
Mm-hmm. This was a...
It's a
Was this
port, rather. It's a port.
Was this a
It's port.
PS2 era? Or PSP? PSP.
Yes.
Interesting. Yeah. It's, I guess some of the negatives were it's just not that new. And the visuals still feel kind of dated, which is not the greatest for a remake. I guess it's not a remake, it's more of a port.
Yeah.
Same boss fights have the same annoying gimmicks. That's annoying. So once again, I think it's important to stress this is like, it's not really a remake. It's a, just a port over to console. So I think some of those things that you would see from like, you know, like what they did with Dragon Quest 3 last year, It's like super polished. This is not going to be that. But if you like the original, it still seems like it's good. And Lucas did say, even though the visuals feel dated, he liked them. But I think if you liked the original game, you're going to like this. It got an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, this is the Trails in this is Falcom. So that if you played like Trails in the Sky or any of those old art, it's the same engine by the looks of it. And there's something charming about it, but it does look very dated.
Yep. And then, Lauren Chandler reviewed, I think this came in right before break. Yeah. She reviewed Animal Crossing Pocket Camp Complete. This is the $10, I think it's now $20 version of the game. Oh, no, sorry. It becomes $20 on January 30th. There's no way in hell I'm buying a mobile app from Nintendo for $20. I don't know. It's fine.
Yeah.
Got a 7. Like the positives are all that, all the crap that you didn't like about the mobile game with the time gates, that's gone. You don't need to be connected to the internet to play it, so that's fine. There's not enough new things if you were someone who played the original game. The original mobile game. The subscription content didn't really add any value. Yeah, this is a big one for me. They limited the time in which you could transfer your save data from the free game to this. So
Wow.
if you haven't done that, you can't do that now. So that's lame. And then if you were already burnt out on Pocket Camp, this is not going to do anything for you. And then Lauren also pointed out that even at $10, I think this is you're asking a lot. If you just want a mobile game where you can fish in Animal Crossing, you can still do that here.
Yeah, I guess if you don't have a Nintendo Switch or whatever, this is a good option, but
it's an option.
Yeah,
it's a 7 out of 10 from Lauren, and it's $10 right now, which I just think is really expensive for what you get.
Yeah.
Those are the reviews. Obviously, kind of a lighter week for reviews. We just got back, and I can just say that there's a lot of games coming out in February specifically, so I think Reviewza is going to really start to pick up here in the next few episodes.
Cool.
On to Newsa. Newspalooza, coined by Shaq Newsa. Awesome Games Done Quick 2025 is going on right now. Some runs that have stood out to me, they did a Breath of the Wild shared controller run. So one person was controlling half the controller, another was controlling the other. And they were doing like the glitch speed run of Breath of the Wild that takes like 33 minutes. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I saw someone else playing New Super Mario Bros. For Wii with the Wiimote strapped to their head while they were playing piano.
Wow.
That was interesting. Duranko Wonko was on the Awful Games Done Quick block last night. If you're up late at night like I was, that's a game that Bandai Namco published. Joe, you should check it out on Steam Deck.
I have. Yes.
It's free. You're a Pomeranian that just ruins the house with mud and paint and stuff. So it's like the opposite of Power Wash Simulator. You're a Pomeranian that ruins a house and you unlock points. That was one of the best speedruns I've seen on Games Done Quick so far. It's only 10 minutes, so if you want to just watch it on YouTube, you should. It was quite funny.
Cool.
Lots of great stuff going on. Their Rocket League run. So there's like a whole modding scene in Rocket League. I didn't know. Like they've made like 3D adventure games out of this shit.
Yeah.
I had no idea. All of that looks way more interesting than the current meta of Rocket League. So, really cool things where they're like doing wall ride jumps into other stuff, like really cool custom designed things. But yeah, I would recommend watching that one. And as at the time of this recording, they have already raised $929,000 for the Prevent Cancer Foundation. So shout out Games Done Quick. They always do great work. Their production is outstanding. And yeah, they're doing it for a good cause. So we highly recommend that you watch them over the weekend. They really save the best for that Saturday. So there's going to be some cool stuff. But yeah, like there's a Mario 64 run with like a Taz. They've done some cool stuff already. I'm trying to think what we were talking about last night. But yeah, the Awful Games block was really funny. I always like to tune into those tiny random ones. But yeah, they're doing good stuff.
Sweet.
On to the Ubisoft news. First of all, Assassin's Creed Shadows has been delayed again to March 2025. It's now getting out of the way of Monster Hunter. and Civ, but I don't necessarily think Civ 7 was going to be an impediment to Assassin's Creed. But I do think, Monster Hunter Wilds is going to take up a lot of people's time. So yeah, Assassin's Creed Shadows delayed, and kind of back-to-back Ubisoft news. Ubisoft has hired advisors to pursue strategic options for the company and the shareholders. Folks who watch my Game Trader videos and my stream may remember I mentioned that this would probably happen this year. The stock is trading at $2.50 right now here in America. It's valued somewhere around $2 billion. While that's a lot of money to the average person, that's like next to nothing for most of these giant tech conglomerates. So really, Activision is in play. I think it's probably going to be the Guillemot family with Tencent are going to come in and acquire the company or something. And maybe it could even be a situation where they take the company private. Here's a really crazy thing that I think I said last year, and I'll say it again here. GameStop could buy Ubisoft straight cash. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
It
Monkey
sounds
paw
crazy,
curls.
but yeah.
I'm just gonna throw it out there that could happen. Oh shit, Ozzie's here. Hey, Ozzie. We're in the news part of this, which is good because we're about to be talking about CES.
Hey, Ozzie.
And then Xbox Developer Direct got announced today. Where we're recording this on a Thursday. It's gonna cover Doom: The Dark Ages, South of Midnight, and Claire Obscure Expedition 33. I think those were the 3 games they mentioned. Did they mention anything else, Sam?
And there was like a mystery one, wasn't there?
It's like something. Yeah, we don't know what the other thing is. Is South of Midnight the thing that Compulsion's showing?
I think so. I think that's
okay.
The one that's in like the Bayou or New Orleans, perhaps. Give those sort of vibes. Looks really cool.
But blah, blah, blah. Doom. That's all I gotta say. We're getting more Doom footage, and I am here for it. We got a little bit out of CES. NVIDIA was showing off their DLSS 4 technology, and Doom gameplay was
Did somebody say CES?
Yes. So yeah, we did get a look at Doom running on an NVIDIA 5090, which that got announced. You left that out in the news. NVIDIA announced... So. Oh no, you put it under the next topic. Anyway, we'll move on real quick. I mentioned this earlier. I'll mention it again. Animal Well won Balatro Dev LocalThunk's Golden Thunk Game of the Year award. But he also mentioned that people should try out Arco, Nova Drift, Billionaire, and Mouthwashing, as well as Dungeons and Degenerate Gamblers. So he wanted to take some of the spotlight that's been on him and shine it on other indies that he thought were also deserving. So that's pretty cool. Sorry. Now on to Storytime Industruza, which is an industry news palooza brought to you by Shacknewza. This is the last article I wrote last year. Former Gearbox publishing president and founder of Shacknews, Steve Gibson, is now CEO of a new publisher called Cooldown Games. And they aim to focus on like smaller gaming experiences. He said, my passion of helping game makers reach as many game players as possible while making sure that it's a rewarding experience for everyone involved is at the center of this. So they're looking for like maybe not the biggest games, but just fun games. And Steve had a lot of success over there at Gearbox Publishing. So congratulations to Steve and everyone over there at Cooldown Games.
That's very neat.
Yep. And then on, was that Monday night? Yeah. NVIDIA announced a whole gang of stuff, but most important to the Shacknews readership and viewership, they unveiled the RTX Blackwell 50 series of GPUs. I think the RTX 5070 costs like a third or half the price of the 4070, and it's more powerful. So they're doing that thing where they, the 5070 I think is priced at $599, and the 5090 costs almost $2,000. It's also huge, so you're going to need to buy a new case, Joe. You just drafted that and all that stuff. Yeah. If you want to build the top of the line PC, you're going to have to buy a new motherboard and a new case and a new processor and a $2,000 GPU. But the good news is, Joe, if you're going to just buy a 40 series GPU, they all are going to drop in price now precipitously.
Yeah.
And they're all still pretty good. But if you want the latest in AI and DLSS and all that good stuff, which Ozzie just saw, you have to pay the price. And also, I called out David on this when he bought a prefab computer last year. I said, thank you for confirming that NVIDIA will release a new GPU in the next 3 months. And it literally was 3 months later that we got this. So shout out, David.
It had been a while, though. Like, we had to come to expect it.
Yeah, it was over a year, which is weird for them. But they spent more time iterating on their AI GPUs, right?
Something like that, yeah. Everybody's going all in on AI right now, and it's, for better or worse, it's here to stay, I guess.
And we kind of mentioned this earlier when we were talking about Steam Deck 2 and why it might not come out. Valve is bringing SteamOS to Lenovo Legion Go S, which is the new Lenovo Steam Deck looking thing. Joe, I think the important thing to note on this, and Ozzie, you got your hands on this, it doesn't have the touch pads that mimic the mouse. It just has a D-pad, a circular D-pad, which I question.
The Lenovo Go does?
Yeah.
Oh, man. I actually did not get to go hands-on with that. I got to go hands-on with the MSI Claw, which is...
Sorry. That's right. There's too many of these now. I can't remember which one. But yeah, sorry, go ahead.
I remember the MSI Claw, like, last year being like, God, this thing's hefty as all hell. And the new one still is. Like, I think I said it in the voiceover that I sent over. And, like, it's good if you got, like, small hands or catcher's mitts. Because, like... they refined the form factor a lot, and like it feels a lot more comfortable to hold, but this thing is huge. This thing is like Steam Deck size, like a little bit bigger.
Yeah. And MSI, man, they have this track record of making absurd heat management devices. Like, just they don't really care about the aesthetics of a device. They'll just throw a bunch of fans on it just to make sure it doesn't overheat. So yeah, we got a couple more of these. I did mention I was playing Disco Elysium on my Mac. I had Big Picture running on a Mac. And I'm just like, can we just have SteamOS like as a separate boot option for Mac or something? Like that would be cool.
For sure.
I feel like we're getting there.
It feels like we are, right? But yeah, like, I just wanted to like talk to you guys. I know John's at was at CES or is at CES. Ozzie, you just got home. So much weird shit, Ozzie. Like the stuff that you were coming across, like you mentioned how everyone's like AI. For me, like from watching from outside, the thing that I'm seeing, Ozzie, robots.
Everyone's leaning hard into robots.
Yeah, because it's like NVIDIA's like, well, we have this computer vision technology, and we have this spatial computing stuff. It's like all that works really well with a robot. Ozzie, you shook the hand of one of those robots.
This was at NVIDIA's whole thing where I guess it recognized that I was waving at it, and it came over and it introduced itself. Now, it wasn't accurate with the handshake because like it went a little too far in, but still, the fact that it knew to like extend its hand out, like that was just like, wow, what am I seeing here?
So when you grabbed it, did it grab back?
No.
Okay, that would have freaked me out.
If it had a grip, yeah, that would have been like, oh no, like we're into like Will Smith's iRobot territory type of thing.
Yeah. So that one I found pretty particularly disturbing, I guess would be the right term for it. And then God, what the hell were the Furbies, Ozzie? What the hell?
My God. So I went to TCL's booth thinking, okay, I'm going to find like a big old TV. I'm going to find like some of their gaming monitors and stuff. But when I found the Amy, it's pronounced Amy, it's AI space me. And it's basically an AI robot that's like the size of a doll. And it's meant for part like surveillance and part for like being a nanny type of thing. Like it reads your kids' stories and all that stuff. And I'm just like, God. I was telling Greg yesterday, I go, The Simpsons predicted the future again. We invented Funzos. How did this happen?
It also looks like a Furby.
It does. There are variants of it that look like a Furby.
Yeah, and then they did this thing to make it even creepier where they dress it up in all these different outfits. But the trailer they had running, Ozzie, you captured it masterfully. But like, that is the most dystopian trailer I've seen in a really long time.
I have no idea where we're going with any of this, and I don't know if I like it. I really don't know if I like it.
But it reminds me of like other CESs, right? Where like, we've been to CES where like the theme was 3D TVs, right? Or the theme was VR, or the theme was metaverse, right? This year is definitely AI, but it seems like the consumer electronics folks are all like, it's either we're going to put AI in a refrigerator or we're going to put AI in a robot of some kind. And it's like, I just don't know what problems we're solving there. We saw some robot pets. Honestly, that Bartesian thing that you did the demo with, Ozzie, that seemed actually useful and cool.
Yes,
that was like
that one I liked a lot.
That was like a Keurig, but for making cocktails at home. And I'm like, hell yeah, that's actually interesting and different.
The pods like are really easy to get and they're really easy to use, and the final product tastes pretty good.
Yeah, I was like, that's actually useful. I don't know if it would take, like, you know, not everyone has the counter space for a device like that, but like, I could actually see the utility of that. But some of these robots, I'm like, this is just proof of concept. Even TCL said it was just a prototype, right?
Right.
But like, why are they all making these cutesy robots? It's not like, that's not where this is headed, guys. Like, they're gonna give these things guns. Like, that's where we're going. Like, there's gonna be robots fighting wars. And it's just like, right now, it's like, hey, look at this cute one. You can dress it up with a hat. It's like, yeah.
Then it goes Ultron on everybody.
Yeah, so I'm like, I don't trust any of these things, man. And just with respects to the AI, the Amy, I keep calling it the AI me, but like the Amy, those eyes creep the shit out of me. Honestly.
Yes, I know. I was very unsettled looking at
the
this.
Blinking.
Did you see that? Did you see that look I had at the end of the short?
Yeah. It's creepy as hell, man. I think Larry Cooperman from Night Dive replied to one of our tweets, and he's like, nightmare fuel right there. And I'm like,
yeah,
yes,
it is.
It very much is. So like, I think that the tech industry as a whole is trying to make AI appear cozier and more friendly, but some of the shit's really creepy.
I got two themes out of CES, and one was AI, specifically robots, and the other was self-driving vehicles. That's the other like thing that I got coming out of this, because a lot more companies are leaning into that whole self-driving car thing, and cool, if they can get it working, great. Because my wife reminded me that my sister-in-law is prone to seizures, so she can't really drive a car right now. And if someone like Honda with the Afeela or like BMW can get their self-driving tech working, like that can help a lot of people.
I agree, but as someone who has a car that is equipped with the technology, I think we're very far away.
I same here with the car. You've had it for longer. I will say,
but you actually have better tech in your 3 than I have in my X. So I'm curious what you have to say about this.
I guess so. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely markedly better today in 2025 than it was back in 2019 when I first purchased it.
Sure.
It's still ways away. I actually think I think the AI stuff is obviously super strong, just it's coming in hot. I think coupling that with the self-driving cars like they're doing, I think that acceleration is going to come in very quickly. So I think I see like market improvement, of course, 5 years too late, 5 years after this guy's promise, that he sold us on. But I think AI is going to save his ass and save a lot of companies' asses. I also think Waymo Waymo had a booth here at CES. But I was listening to another podcast that was talking about how Waymo is really going into now Austin and Miami and, and they're all over San Francisco. It's ubiquitous. It's never going to crack. We'll never say never, and eventually it will, but New York is a cab town. Taxi and limousine commissions, all over the place. Uber doesn't even screw with New York, really. So, the laws are set up in a certain way or whatever.
The medallions are a big deal.
The medallions and all that. Yeah, like they kind of own the thing, and Uber tried its best and they boxed them out. But like largely, I think Waymo, that technology's been really strong. So I think Google with Waymo, because that's a Google thing, right? Google and Waymo. Yeah, I feel like that's coming in really hot. And it's kind of like they've been quiet, whereas Tesla's been way too loud. And way too loud, they became a $1 trillion company off of the loudness. But I think that tech, that quiet tech is going to become like super. It is already super impressive. It reminds me of Boston Dynamics. Is it Boston Dynamics?
Yeah, the Atlas robot.
The robot, which are like 12 years. That's a 12-year-old or 15-year-old company, probably more than that.
Sure.
And they there's nothing consumer oriented right now. But now I think coupling the AI, coupling the advancements that NVIDIA is showing and whatnot in terms of the chipset, coupling that with this hardware, whether it be robotics or, self-driving car, I think we don't know what's going to happen, but the next, honestly, 12 to 18 to 24 months are going to be super significant. So what I didn't see as ever happening, because Asif, I'm with you, that I've been super skeptical. The stuff that I've seen with AI and those advancements, it's not great, like societally necessarily. Like there's a lot of unanswered questions that governments really have to answer, and I think we're not really prepared for that. But from a technological standpoint, I actually see there might be an opportunity here technologically to reach those metrics.
I think it's important that you mentioned Waymo here, because their hardware solution is more robust than Tesla's. Tesla's is all based on computer vision. There's no LiDAR or any kind of physical measurement going on. It's all camera based. I don't know what the weather is like in New Jersey right now, guys. It's shit here in Ohio. It's been snowing.
It's terrible in Jersey. And when you get the prompt that you're about to talk about, right? Camera blocked.
Cameras are blocked. And if your cameras are blocking their vision of the computer, guess what? You can't fucking trust the thing.
Don't you think that Elon or Tesla, eventually they're going to go back and I don't see how LiDAR doesn't happen.
It has to.
Like LiDAR, because I have it in my car, then they kind of went to vision to cut the cost, and they cut the cost by like $200 a car. But you took out a whole LiDAR thing, which is like, it's such a stupid thing to take out. Don't you think that they'll eventually come back to it?
It has to. And like I say this, and it sounds stupid every time I say it, but I maintain that until I see a self-driving car turn left at Shibuya Crossing at nighttime in the pouring rain, I am not going to trust these things, because it rains on Earth.
Well, you're not meant to trust them. Yeah, I mean, the caveats weren't there when they called it autopilot.
Yes, you're dead right. When they called it autopilot, I was not critiquing it. When they called it full self-driving, I began critiquing it. And then what did they do? Tesla, they call it full self-driving supervised. Because they have someone at a data center watching your car to make sure it doesn't kill you. Maybe that's the solution for now.
I don't think. I'm sorry, that's not what supervised means, though. Supervised is you're the supervisor. Mm-hmm. They put the onus on the user, on the driver.
No doubt. Your hand has to be on the steering wheel and all that crap. But I think where it's heading...
That is a legal thing,
Yeah. Where it's heading, I think, is intervention.
Is the data center. Yeah, okay. That's fair.
Because I simply don't trust this thing, man. It stopped. I was on I-77, that's how to get to Cleveland and back from here. There was a dip in the highway. My car went from 65 miles an hour to 0 miles an hour because of a fucking dip in the highway. Wow. I never used autopilot again.
Very scary.
Because I don't want to get a ticket because my stupid robot car sucks at driving.
Yeah.
Or get in an accident. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard to trust these things. So, like, my whole thing is, like, I live in a place with poor weather. It does not work. And, like, this idea that we're going to rebuild our whole economy around full self-driving, I'm not buying it, man. Like, it's not... In the world we're in, with the climate that we're dealing with, I think it has to be more than just computer vision, right? So, like, that's where I disagree with, like, Tesla. But I think you're right about Waymo, and it's, like, being a turning point. Like, and also, like, regulators are behind the 8 ball on all this. So it's like...
Well, also, I think generationally, though, also, the fact that... Well, and this is urban, and this is city talking, city mouse versus country mouse. I think generationally, people aren't like, I need a car anymore. And I think the cost of insurance, the cost of cars themselves, the whole thing, that could be like the horse and carriage was led to the car. I think the car might lead to no car for like, do I need a car? And that's kind of that vision that Tesla had of like, well, every Tesla's a cab. It's never going to happen. That's not going to happen.
Car as a service. Yeah.
Car as a service, but Waymo actually, that might be it.
Have you seen the videos in San Francisco of like the Waymo parking lots at night and how they all honk at each other?
No,
it's hilarious.
That's a thing.
Yeah, it's hilarious. I'll dig it up, but it is hilarious, man. Like the way that these AI cars interact with each other, and also like There are a
Weird.
lot of really weird Waymo bugs out there too, man. I just don't trust any of it. I really don't trust any of it. I do agree with you that they're going to keep pushing, but it needs to be a standard. There needs to be like, here's the hardware required to be considered full self-driving in America or wherever. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, two things. The only problem is, I think the standard, because of Elon and Trump, I think whatever
it'll just
Elon's
be
going to
whatever
want,
Tesla-
it's
Yeah.
going to happen, right?
Yeah,
And that
yeah.
sucks, because it's not going to be technologically driven. It's going to be politically driven, right? So that kind of stinks. Not kind of, that stinks.
Yeah.
But I think the Waymo stuff, it does require the government to really set these parameters. And I think it's going to come from Europe. We'll see what happens. I don't know.
But you know, Europe, like you talk about people not having vehicles, man. Like a lot of people are just pedestrians in Europe. They have a much better public transportation system than we do in certain countries. But like, no, you're right. I think we're, and this is not that different than the AI discussion that we're having. But like, it feels like when it comes to full self-driving, there are more regulations at least already in place. When it comes to AI, it's like the Wild West right now, and it's not going to change in this next administration. So it's like, that's what's scary.
And think about Starlink and we could move on, but Starlink, for example, just unregulated, well, it's regulated.
Yeah.
But imagine where it's going to go in the next 2, 3, 4 years, right? And the night sky changes and all this stuff, the privacy issues, the whatever, it's going to be pretty bad. It feels really dystopian, unfortunately, what we're talking about.
Well, I mean, like you're saying, like,
but it is going to progress technology in a way. It's just going to be like with some pretty big, societal impacts.
But I think, like, you mentioned something earlier. You said Tesla hit $1 trillion market cap on the promise of full self-driving. That's true the first time. This second rally, it started on November 6th, and it's entirely about Elon Musk buying the election for Donald Trump. Like, that stock no longer trades on its own fundamentals. It's just about the election. And now this administration. See, that's a messy thing. And yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Like unprecedented levels of corruption in our government, and unprecedented amounts of interference by corporations in our government. So it's like, talk about the worst setup ever. And this actually leads, I think, to the last story I want to bring up. But before, Ozzie, like, is there anything else that was just cool or weird at CES that you came across that you wanted to highlight?
Nothing off the top of my head that I can think about, but I will say that I like the advancements that I've seen out of NVIDIA and out of some of the automakers like BMW and Honda. Honda combining the LiDAR with the thermal cameras is a really cool little thing, and I thought it was amazing that they said that they're going to have this thing potentially ready to manufacture next year.
Yeah, and like made in Ohio, so I fucking love it. Like when I heard that, I'm like, I'm in. And also, like, my first car I ever bought, like I ever had, was a Honda Accord. So like, I love Hondas. And Honda and Nissan are merging. So like, wild shit happening in the auto industry right now, because like, to your point, John, like if you're all levered to just making existing and like combustion engine vehicles, you're fucked. Like you have to have some sort of driverless future, or else Wall Street's not even going to care for you. This is kind of similar, though. I wanted to talk about this before we ended. These changes that are being made at Facebook are sweeping. The TLDW, if you didn't watch Zuck's video, is that they're getting rid of fact-checking on Facebook. Which, on the surface, maybe that's not as big of a deal as it could have been. But what's an example of what's going to happen as a result of this, it was like a bunch of stuff was thrown into this update. So they're going to allow more political discussion. But what that means is that there's no fact checking allowed anymore, and it's not encouraged. They're going towards some sort of community notes model. But one of the side effects is that they're changing their hateful conduct policy, where you can now, I'm not saying you guys, I'm saying a user can now say that a member of the LGBTQ plus community has a mental illness. And that's not against the rules. You can just say that to someone now. That seems bad. That seems like a negative effect of this policy. But also, like, this is one of the leading sources of information on the internet. It's where a lot of people get their news. And for them not to say that we don't think fact checking is important is insane. Like, America's like a pendulum, and we have swung really far to the right now. with a lot of our technology policies. And you see all these tech companies falling over themselves to give money to the inauguration, Zuckerberg being one of those. And then they changed their public policy person at Facebook. It's now someone who used to work in the first Trump administration, now works at Facebook with Zuckerberg. I just think what Facebook's doing right now is kind of scary, because they're one of the largest. Yeah, they're one of the largest sources of information on the internet, but they're also one of the largest AI companies. And this idea that you're going to be an AI company and simultaneously not care about fact checking, that's insane. What are we doing?
Agreed.
I don't know. It feels
Agreed.
like it feels like this always happens though, John. Like technology like overcorrects and then is like, whoops, we should probably value fact checking. Like 3 or 4 years from now.
It's all just political. It's all just, how do I get to keep selling cigarettes to
Republicans buy
more
Jordans
people?
too. That the whole Republicans buy Jordans too, right?
Well,
That
it is,
Michael
but
Jordan quote.
but that presumes like tech cared about Democrats
They didn't.
in the
They
first
just care
place.
about themselves.
Nobody cares about
Yeah.
this stuff. I mean, Silicon Valley doesn't care. They never cared. This is groundbreaking, but like, what's the evidence? What, back in the 60s and the 70s, San Francisco was a real liberal place? Like, that's it?
Mhm.
That's holding the water for this many decades later? Like, come on, man. So I think like it's all been monetarily driven, and whose ass are you going to kiss? It's the current administration. Why? Because they have the regulation. And why? Because you see with Europe, what in Australia, social media banned. Sam, right? Like, isn't social media banned for 16 and under
There's like
recently?
restrictions on who can access some types of social media.
Okay, so like the pendulum, like in I think New Zealand bans phones in school and things like that. I think you see that in
Mhm.
Europe and some European countries. I think the tipping point's starting to happen. It's usually led by outside of America in terms of advocacy for the user and privacy and things like that.
You saw it in China too, with limiting game time for young people.
Limited game time, yeah, and you're not going to see that here in America.
Because my
You know,
freedom.
we have guns everywhere, and we have
I want
cars
my
everywhere. Like,
freedom.
and it
I
is
gotta
what
have
it
my
is.
freedom to spread misinformation.
Yeah, well, that's
And
what's
if you don't give me
happening.
my
And look,
freedom, yeah.
if Kamala won, is it's a different tune.
Yeah.
They're
No
not
doubt.
guided by morals. Like nobody should be shocked here.
Oh, not shocked
Not
at
guided
all.
by
I'm more
morals.
just
Yeah.
warning our listeners that the internet's going to get worse because of this. And it already has. Like, go look on Google for anything right now. You're going to get a subreddit first. And it's like, I don't know if we should be trusting subreddits for all of our information. Some of them are good, not all of them. And like the Gemini search results tend to be wrong.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's all I'm talking about here, John, is the veracity of information getting worse. And that scares me. As someone who just likes to use the internet as a source of information, I'm worried. That's all.
Sure.
I'm just worried. And yeah, we're gonna do something crazy here at Shack News. We're gonna report facts. We're just gonna report facts. Like when an earnings report comes out, we're going to tell you, here's what the expectations were, and here's what the results were, and here's the difference between the two. We're not going to be like, here's why the stock's up. No, we're going to tell you what happened. You determine from there. I guess that's going to become rare. I guess it's going to become a rare novel idea here in 2025 on the internet. But yeah, if you want factual information, we're going to do our best to provide that. And when it is opinion-based, we're going to label it opinion. That's it. What a crazy novel idea.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree with you. Like, I hate Mark Zuckerberg. I've hated him forever. I've never trusted him. But like, it's undeniable that Facebook's here to stay. And it's like, that's what they're doing is going to be so bad. And it's just crazy to me because this is the same platform that like an actual genocide was organized on a Facebook group. There's all this data about how Instagram makes young women want to kill themselves, or most users. Like, this stuff's going to get worse because hate speech is going to increase because of freedom. Freedom of speech, according to Twitter or X and Facebook now, includes hate speech. So it's going to get really like everyone who hates the comment section on their tweets, get ready for Facebook to somehow be even worse. And that's
Facebook
crazy.
was already pretty bad. I mean,
I know, man. I know. I was like, how can you make it worse? That's how. So yeah, what a mess. Anyway, I think that'll do it for this show. That was a long one, but we had been gone for a little bit, so welcome back, everybody. We have one community note. Look at this. Haas Mamu's back. He said,
He's back.
John and Asif talking music is great. Thanks, Joe, for not cutting off the Kendrick Lamar conversation.
You're welcome.
I finally listened to the album on the way up to Vegas, Asif. You were right.
How good is it?
It's amazing.
I was like, I'm like, Ozzie, I know where you live. I know where you grew up. This album is fucking for you. It's like built for Ozzie.
Dodger Blue, man.
I was like, you have to hear Dodger Blue, but also like all those mariachi intros. Awesome. Like, I don't know.
Yes. I love the flavor of that whole album. It spoke to me a lot.
I was like, this is the most SoCal fucking album I've ever heard in my life. It's great. The production's great. Yeah. I can't sing enough praise about Kendrick.
Reincarnated might be one of my favorite songs off that album. It's just, it hits you really hard.
It's the Tupac flow.
Yes.
I'm like, wait a second here. Like, this man's talking. He didn't. And then I mentioned this in another episode of maybe Pop Goes the Culture, but like, I didn't listen to Drake's side of any of the beef last year. So I didn't know what TaylorMade was. TaylorMade, he literally used AI to make his voice sound like Tupac's. And
that's so gross.
Reincarnated is Kendrick's reply. And Kendrick uses his own voice, right? And he doesn't even mention Tupac in the song.
He doesn't at all.
But it's a Tupac sample, and it's a Tupac cadence.
He basically makes references as to how, like, he didn't want the feud to turn into this, but it just kind of happened. Yeah. And, he's going to fight. I mean, it's who he is.
It's the minute that Drake involved his family, his wife, his significant other and his kids and all that stuff, that he went from, okay, I'll do a one-off on like that. No. Now I have 15 songs about tearing this fucking guy down. I cannot wait for the Super Bowl halftime show. That's all I got.
Yeah, that should be interesting.
That's must-see television. But yeah, like, I love that whole album, man. I think the Heart Part 6 is great, but I agree with you, Ozzie. Reincarnated is like, it's masterful production, and it's like really deep song. And he's like, he's rapping against himself.
Yes, he literally, because who's on his level right now?
It's like he battles himself on that song masterfully. But yeah, love that album. I'm glad I was right. When I heard it, I'm like, Ozzie needs to hear this. It's like built. Dodger Blue is like, that should be the anthem of Southern California. But yeah, and I know everyone's going through shit over there. So man, I hope people are doing okay. I know
we got a false alarm on our phones. Like, we got a false evacuation alarm, and then like 10 minutes later, like, our phones start going off again, and they say disregard, and like,
scary.
What the hell just happened? You just told me to evacuate.
But yeah,
now you're just gonna say my bad. Thanks, Apple.
And it's kind of like what you were saying earlier about just the dystopian future, John. But like, what happened in Maui last year isn't that long ago, and here it is again. And these are record wins that are causing these. Like,
no, it's awful.
But at least the next time this happens over the next 4 years, we'll have a federal government that'll just point and laugh at us. So that's cool.
I mean, they're already doing it. They're trying to blame Newsom. Like,
yeah, I know.
For what? And going back to the discussion of misinformation, I've seen so much false bullshit on both Twitter and Facebook about what happened, because no one knows exactly. Like, the investigations are still ongoing as to what caused the fire. What we know is there was a fire and the wind made it worse, right?
That's the only concrete fact we have.
And high wind is literally the definition of what a global warming would look like. Temperature is nothing but the speed at which molecules move, and wind is a symptom of it. So it's like, if you're a denier of climate change right now, you're a fucking idiot. Like, it's here, and it's terrifying. And I hope everyone is okay. But, like, I don't know. You guys remember Harry Mack? He performed at E4?
Sure.
Or E6? He lost his house just yesterday.
Oh, that's terrible.
Man.
His house is gone. His whole family, his pets are okay, but like, they just lost everything. And it's the speed at which it happens is so fucking scary.
Marcus Beer, a frequent guest on Weekend Confirmed for a long time, he lost his house, and our hearts go out to him as well.
Yeah, everyone, man. I know that, like,
Wait,
just the videos that we're
Marcus
seeing.
Beer did?
Yeah, he lost his house in Altadena. Said everything's gone.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's just it's horrible what's going on there. So before we end it, I just want to say, like, I there's no point in sending thoughts and prayers, but we feel terrible for what's happening. We hope everyone finds a way to get some sense of normalcy back. But
The only silver lining right now is that the winds are supposed to mercifully die down by this time tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. But there's been so much damage done, man. Like Pacific Palisades is gone. It's just gone. That's crazy. I think it's something like 180,000 people have been displaced, making this, I think this is the largest amount of damage to property from a wildfire in the history of the country.
Yeah, I've never seen anything like this in my lifetime.
No. And I think the most recent thing that we all saw was Maui, and it was a similar amount of terror and horror that happened there. But yeah, I don't know. Anyway, we hope everyone in SoCal's okay, or at least will be okay. And yeah, like, just shout out to all the firefighters, first responders, the local businesses that have opened up, like food kitchens, like everything that's going on there from the community side in LA. Just shout out to everyone who's doing that. Seeing a lot of cool restaurants opening up their doors for people, parking lots that people can just use. So shout out to the communities out there in LA helping their neighbors out. And yeah, maybe someday we'll have a government that helps people.
Yeah, I mean, we are ready. We are nothing if not resilient here in LA. We will persevere through this, and we will survive, and maybe we will rebuild someday. And over the next 4 years, we are fully ready to fend for ourselves if we have to.
Yeah. But yeah, that's gonna do it for the show. Fuck.
On a light note, eh?
I don't know. Go play Bubbletron. It'll make you smile. The calculating song's pretty neat. But yeah, I don't know. Sometimes you just have to be real with people, and like sometimes things aren't great. You know, like what's going on at Facebook's not great. What's going on in Los Angeles is fucking horrible. And we hope we have better news to talk about in the future, and we will. And we'll have more games coming out. Like to leave on a more optimistic note, like this is going to be an amazing year for video games. We got a new system coming out. I mean, there's new first-party Nintendo software. I still think there's something going on with Switch 2 that we don't know yet. Like some weird gimmick that we don't know about yet.
We'll find out
Something
next week.
that the leaks couldn't possibly get to.
I just don't think Nintendo. Like, I think if there was, I think there's a. I'm just gonna throw it out here. There's two USB-C ports on this thing, right? One on the bottom, one on the top, and everyone's like, "Oh, it's so you can charge from the top," you know, because that was a big point of people are annoyed by that. I think Nintendo's gonna start with dongles. I think we're gonna get some sort of weird camera dongle for the Switch 2 that is gonna be for AR purposes. So I think there's something out there that we don't know about this product yet, but we'll see. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's just what we've seen.
Couple days.
Yeah, we got a new console coming out. We got GTA 6 coming.
Nah, that's not happening.
You don't think it's gonna make it?
No.
That should be your
What do you mean?
that should be your Shack Chat.
No, my Shack Chat, because I don't really care. My Shack Chat is we're going to have an F-Zero game launch with the Switch 2. That is my crazy gaming prediction of the year. But no, I think GTA 6 gets delayed. They just polish those games so much, man, that like something's going to show up. They're going to need 6 more months, and it won't matter. It's not going to affect the sales of their game. You know, I think they delayed Red Dead 2 twice in that last year. So I wouldn't be surprised. And, you know, if it does come out, cool. I'm super excited for it, but if it doesn't, got Monster Hunter Wilds coming up. We got Civ 7, and eventually Assassin's Creed is going to come out.
Knock on wood, we're supposed to get Metroid Prime 4 one way or the other.
Yeah, and I mentioned earlier, Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition is coming. And if you watch that trailer they posted today, that looks like a game that's going to look really, really good in 4K with the DLSS stuff. So we'll see. I'm just curious if all of these leaks were true, Nintendo's got to be furious. And if that's the case, like, just announce the thing next week, guys. What are you doing? Like, please. We all know it's coming now. Just announce it. You know, rip that Band-Aid off. But it's unfortunate that they're going to be kind of strong-armed into doing it.
Yeah.
I get not announcing it during CES week, because it's such a busy week for tech news. That makes sense. But, like, you got to do it next week.
This would be the one time they actually give a damn about a date, because they've they go on their own schedule, man. Like, you remember they dropped like some random like factoid about the Switch on election day.
Yep. But that was also the night of earnings. So yeah,
That's true.
They released their earnings report on election day in America because they wanted to bury the lead, right? And then Furukawa tweeted from the Nintendo of Japan account. Yeah, God, I hope it's not a 3 a.m. tweet that announces this thing, but it could be because they seem kind of annoyed. But man, I'm just excited to know what it is and what games we get to play on it. So whenever you're ready, Doug Bowser, we know you're out there listening. Cool.
Thank you, Doug.
Well, I'll do it. Listen to us. Go to the places, give us thumbs up or 5 stars or write a review. It helps us. If you made it this far into the podcast, you're really one of the greatest shackers of all time. And we'll be back once a week. We're going to be doing this.
Yes,
So
publishing
thanks,
a little
everybody, for
later.
joining us.
We should call out. It'll be a Friday morning blast out now.
Yeah, this will be going live on Friday morning. So if you've gotten used to seeing this in the evening reading articles that I post, you're not going to see this there going forward. Most likely it'll be Friday evening reading or the article itself on Fridays.
We're a great way to end your week.
Yeah.
You'll see it in my evening reading every Friday.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. It goes from my evening reading to Ozzie's. Awesome. And Ozzie, thanks for joining us. I know you just literally got out of your car from Las Vegas.
I really did. Like, I had to think about wait, I'm on the spot. What do I say about CES? And I got my brain short circuited for like a second there. I will say though, one other thing that I would be remiss in not mentioning, that Dungeons and Dragons pinball machine looks fucking amazing. I love what they've done with it. I love that they're going full ham with it on what makes it D&D. They're going to have rotating quests and they're going to have characters you can build up. They're going all the way with this. And your dungeon master is Matt Mercer.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, this thing's awesome. And it's coming out next week.
Wow. Okay. Stern Pinball, man, out there. Just still making cool shit. It did seem like less gaming stuff than usual, though. This was the year of the robot.
Yeah, this was definitely the year of the robot, but we did get a few good things from companies like Razer, MSI, Corsair. Corsair's got a case that you might be interested in, Joe. They have a fully modular case that you can just take apart nearly every single piece of it. It's incredible, and it's only going to be $100.
Interesting.
Based on his draft pick from an earlier segment, I think he's going to have to take a look at the very least.
We'll see. I'll check it out.
Cool. Well, that's where we wave at the camera and say bye, even though there's no camera or
Thanks,
video.
everyone. Thanks, Sam. Thanks, Ozzie. Thanks, John.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Shack Together is a Shack News production.
Shack Together is a Shack News production.
Shack Together is a Shack News production.
Shack News is a multimedia company consisting of a variety of entertainment properties, including ShackNews.com, video game and cutting-edge technology coverage with evergreen video, guide, and long-read content, providing readers and viewers with the latest reviews, previews, interviews, and news. Shack News content is readable and viewable at ShackNews.com, Facebook, YouTube at Shack News Interviews, and Shack News VODs, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram at Shack News Media, Twitch, and more. But that's not all. You can play Bubbletron, our first video game. Combine 3 ideas, hit the market, and get your money hat. Bubbletron is a daily game in the style of Wordle, where players can launch a company and see its valuation instantly. Hit that high score and brag to your friends. Visit Bubbletron.com to play. There is no download required, no signups required, but if you are into app downloads, we have the cutest one on the planet. It's called Shack Pets, the ultimate battle for cuteness. Swipe your pets to victory on iOS and Android in this Tinder-like app for pets. Shack News is proud to present a variety of micro products, all available for free at ShackNews.com. Cortex is a publishing platform available to all of our users. Shouts is a Twitter replacement in a time where Twitter really needs replacing. And Reader, an RSS reader that won't get shut down by Google anytime soon. You can import YouTube, subreddits, all sorts of cool stuff, even podcast feeds. And lastly, all of our products are completely free to use and play, so if you're a fan of what we're doing and want to support the Shack News ecosystem, head over to shacknews.com/Mercury. Mercury offers subscribers access to exclusive Shack News swag like hoodies and VIP access to our long reads in downloadable format. It's a great way to support us. There's different tiers, and you get a lightning bolt next to your name.